rumor that it wasn't actually the cops who captured Mr. Day. There is no such thing as a Batman.
The only thing between the innocent and the
may
prey.
be.
No, not may be. I am. Back to the True Gamer Podcast, the podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the True Gamers. I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How's it going, bro?
It's going good. I wore my Portal T. We don't have a screen behind it. I was going to be like, let me just check on the screen. No, it's just the sound
new setup has already thrown you off, hasn't it? 1 second into the thing.
This is gaming related. The new setup looks great.
You can see some of it. It's not finished yet, but that's what it looks like at the moment. They're behind us right here.
The fans, have you set them to be on, or do they just come on?
No.
It's not doing anything.
No, I turned on the computer. That's actually what it's connected to right now. So
okay.
I was like, turn it on, put something nice on the background.
Okay,
there you go, right there.
The setup looks great. Of course, our building of the PC went smooth.
Flawless.
Like glass. Not
so
a problem. We were helping other people. They were coming to us with their problems. Like, I built this PC, I don't know what I'm doing. We were like, that's cool. You need to boot the F drive, invert the Quicksilver portal.
F9. Yeah.
Alt F4 kind of,
Exactly,
delete code line 56.
Yeah. Delete system 32. Delete that one. That's the one right there. Yeah, you need to do that.
That's the one. Looks great. New setup's good. I am actually really digging it. It feels like the room got a bit bigger, actually.
It did, actually. So what it was this is like, for those of you guys that are big fans, we'll get into the podcast in just a moment. The desk that used to sit there, it used to come out quite a lot. And then obviously we had the things on the wall, which used to take up this much space anyway. And now it has become a bit bigger.
It's weird. What's funny is we added space to the office.
Yeah.
And then took it away by putting the table at an
angle.
was like,
we're going to put it at an angle now.
Because we're cool. We're hip. This is what the kids like these days.
Do you know what, like tilting your hat to the side like that.
Hello, fellow children. Yeah.
Do you know what, one day what I would like? This is like completely dream thing because these things cost a lot of money. I would like for us to just be like on a sofa, just sitting on opposite sides of it, just like chilling and whatnot with a microphone, be like, yo, let's talk about today's things, because it's conversational. But they cost an arm and a leg.
And also, we have tried that. We tried that for Movie Club, and YouTube doesn't like us.
They did not like our.
Do you know what's funny
thing.
though? Like, it sounds like we're trying to sound like we're a bigger deal than we are. Mm-hmm. It's not like. I think it would make sense for us to say YouTube doesn't like us for 100,000 subs, 500,000 subs, 1 million subs, one of those channels, right? Because these days 1 million subs isn't like unthinkable. This isn't 2006, right? There's plenty of 1 million sub channels out there. YouTube really has a beef with us.
Yeah,
we have 6,500 subs on our main channel, and YouTube has a beef with us.
It's like YouTube was like, I'm bored today. Throws a pencil, lands in conversations, it's like, I'm going to fuck with them today. There you go. That's what they went right there.
It's a very strange one. But, of course, we're not reliant on YouTube because our incredible super bros over on patreon.com/conversations keep us alive, and those people that we have to thank are...
They are Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate, Carol Tavrivia, aka Catbird the Friendly Patron, Record Friction, Dan the Man, Jeremy Renner, Martin Scorsese's Master H-Bars12, and the real life superhero Night Scar. Thank you, bros, for keeping the lights, the mics on, and the gaming here at the True Gamer Podcast right here. Yeah, so thanks to those guys. We don't have to rely on anything that YouTube does and whatnot. We can get by without them.
It is cool.
How are you, by the way? I didn't get to ask you in the beginning here because we went straight into talking about this new fucking dimension we're in right now. But how are you doing anyway?
Yeah, I'm right. I mean, a little bit of me is jealous, I'm going to be honest, because the office is your house.
Yeah.
And so the streaming PC's at your house. Yeah. I don't really stream all that much, but like, I come to our channels and the streams 90% are you. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. You live at the office. You can just do this.
I could just do it on a whim.
Yeah. I'm like, frick.
One day we're going to be living we're going to go to our own office. It's going to be an office somewhere else. It's going to be an office behind a strip club. You know, that kind of thing right there.
Patrons, get the lead out.
It's gonna be like we're gonna get it behind the strip club, but people are gonna tell people it was a cheap rent. That was the reason why we did it. Yeah, not to
it's
like
those thin drywall walls. Every now and then he's like, in the fucking walls.
Do you know what I'm imagining? You know, in Deadpool,
Yeah.
the strip club scene, and there's what's his name? The guy that made the comics. What's his name? Stanley. Yes, exactly. Stanley. He's on the microphone on the DJ, and he's
the
like,
most important. And now introducing chastity.
yes, exactly. And he's like, you can't buy happiness, but you can rent it for $50 an hour. That's what we'd hear in our videos. Anyway, guys, if you didn't know, this is the True Gamer podcast, brought to you every other week here on the Combroplations channel. If you're new around here, subscribe. If you're on podcast services, thank you very much. Rate us 5 stars and all that good stuff.
I love how you motion to the camera.
Yeah, exactly. If you're on podcast services, we do a video version of this, and you get to actually see the new setup that we're in. So feel free to go check us out over there, youtube.com/Combroplations. As well as the guys who support us over on patreon.com/Combrosations at the Super Bro tier. We also have our true gamers who made this specific podcast happen.
They did.
We needed them in order to make this happen.
They literally voted with their hard-earned money to make it happen. In fact, they bullied us.
They did bully us.
It happen. Yeah.
And those people are, I don't know why I clicked off and went back to it.
I was just about I was like, you know what? We're in the podcast. We're in the flow. I won't bring it up.
Those people are Jeremy Horde, Night Scar, Record Friction, Diogo, Isak, Manny, Dan, Real Cinema, Carrot of Rivia, Cats Bacoral, is getting cucked by Ed Sheeran. So is getting cucked by Ed Sheeran. Right. So Carrot of Rivia, I'm sorry, man, you're getting cucked.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
Chris Williams, Max H, Benedict Clobbers, Adam Sunding, Batfan257, Fishy, and The Swan Swam Over the Sea, Swim. I fucked that up, didn't I?
You did.
The Swan Swam Over the Sea, Swam.
Swan, bruv. Swim.
Yeah, it's not Swan. I'm saying, what the fuck is Swan? Try it one more time.
Oh my god, why did you do this?
The Swan?
The best thing is, this is the same guy. And he hasn't changed it, because normally he changes these things, and he's been really kind, and he hasn't changed it.
He's done me a favour.
Third time's the charm.
Right, here we go, guys.
Right.
I can't even do my click.
We got it. You got it.
The swan swam over the sea, swim, swan, swim. The swan swam back again, well swum, swan. Ba-ding! First try. Yeah, I'm going to cut all the rest there. All the rest of it, it's going to be cut out.
This really huge jerk. He's just like, one of the things I've noticed about cutting and editing and stuff, and I'm not really that good. Like okay, boys, if you haven't seen it, go to the most recent on the Combroplations channel Cyberpunk video.
Yeah.
You made that whole intro to it and everything, right? So you're pretty good at editing. And I've noticed one of the lessons that are like self-taught is that when you cut, as important, if not more important than what's going on screen, is the audio.
Yeah.
That's the real thing. And when you go from like that little wave to that spike.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm hoping...
No. It's like, what the fuck happened there? That trips everyone up.
Yeah.
Thank you, True Gamers, for keeping this podcast alive, and thank you for keeping the
making it
game
happen.
going. Yeah, thank you very much there. So today we've got a lot of good topics to cover. Also, something before we do that.
How are you doing?
We
started this with completely ignoring our topics and talking about The Office. Then you asked me how I was. Then we did the Patreon stuff, which, of course, priority.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Physically exhausted. So what happened was Isla, obviously my new baby, everyone who's been around the channel knows about that, had a brand new baby. She just crossed her 4 weeks old now. We got her registered and everything. It was great. Last night was the first night where she didn't sleep properly.
You got her registered.
It
just sounds so weird.
That doesn't sound right.
What are you going to do when they come out with a new one? You're getting a gold-plated Isla.
Shit, yeah. If they come up with a limited edition, I might have to buy that. Yeah. There are some people who are listening who are like, what's this inside joke they're talking about? I'm crazy with limited edition PlayStation 4s. That's what it is.
Genuine question, because I saw your tweet before, because I do want to hear about your exhaustion and you're not being able to sleep because, I get it. Did you actually put down $100 for the limited edition PS5?
No. So Zahir, one of our boys, he sent me a message. He was like, Eddie, you're into the limited edition PlayStation 4s.
Yes, you are.
Check this out. And it was a registry for a PlayStation 5, gold-plated, 24-karat gold, from a reputable website that actually does this. Okay. And they were like, if you want it, put down your registration, register your interest. All it was sign up with your email. That's all it was. Okay. And then I got the email. And here's me. This is what I was thinking. when I got the email and they said, "Oh, pre-orders go live on Thursday," which is they were recording it, I was like, "I'm going to tweet this out because that means that maybe the PlayStation 5 pre-orders are coming soon."
Yeah.
But not thinking, everyone immediately jumped to, "Eddie, you've got a problem. You've got a problem."
I literally tweeted out, "We need to do an intervention."
And I quote tweeted your thing, and I was like, "Look, I feel like you guys are distracted by my completely healthy and under control addiction to limited edition consoles.
I can stop anytime I want.
Anytime I want, right there." But no, I'm not gonna buy that. I'm sure I'm not gonna buy that because I don't have $8,000 to give.
It was $8,000.
$8,000, yeah. I think that was the discless version, so it might be another £100 more for the disc version.
Oh, well, that's too much. I'm just trying to think, how much have you spent on consoles? You haven't spent that much.
Nah, probably I've bought I think, was it 6 we counted?
I think it's more than 6.
£300 a pop, that still works out to $2,000.
Yeah, I thought it was 6 PS4 Pros, I think you've had.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
But this is my thing as well. So it's like, I bet he didn't, because I needed to check. Because I was thinking, if you get a gold-plated one, you're not going to be able to get rid of it because you can't get rid of a gold-plated PS4. Not just who you're going to sell it to and how you're going to verify that it's good, but also, like, it's a gold-plated. Also, what's
Do you know many
cooling?
Exactly, right?
But, like, how can you just, in principle, you have a gold-plated PS5? How are you going to get rid of that? You're not, because that's the most one-of-a-kind you can get.
Yeah.
But I also know you, and you will want the Cyberpunk branded one. You'll want the Uncharted 5 one. You'll want Horizon Forbidden West. Do you know what I mean?
They
have a problem.
They have me on a fucking hook, line, and sinker right here.
If
they come up with a cool one, I'm done.
Big step away from gaming, but similar thing is like power tools, right?
Yeah.
They get you by the batteries.
Oh, yeah. Convenience, because everything just attaches to each other, right?
Because, like, look, most of these tools are about as good as each other. No one cares, right?
Yeah.
Once you get one, or like you buy a Makita drill, and then you're like, okay, well, I need one of these saws. I've already got the battery for this. I'll buy another Makita, and by that point, you're brand locked.
Sold right there.
Because, well, I mean, it takes the 3. I've already got these 3. If I get a DeWalt, then I need another. That's exactly what you've done to yourself.
Yes.
With these things.
It's like, I have done this to myself. I have no one else to blame. Thank you. Welcome
It
to my
might
TED
be
Talk.
cheaper for you to learn how to like hydro dip plastic stuff. You know,
it's got to that
like
point,
set
right?
up your own business basically of just dipping things so you can change.
Anyway, just to talk about the physically exhaustion bit, I'm exhausted because Isla, for the first time since we've had her, couldn't sleep through the night this time. She was crying all the time and she wouldn't go down, feed, everything like that, and that was exhausting. And also, I decided that now was the best time to build the new desk and whatnot to set it all up. And it was a bitch, obviously. Little bits were coming in times and I had to lift things and whatnot. I think the effort was worth it, but combined with no sleep, probably not great.
Yeah, it looks
not great.
I mean, it does look great. I just realised, you guys, your ears are here, and I'm talking over
One sec while we just talk over here, guys.
Yeah, talk amongst yourselves.
What's going on?
It does look really good. My question is, because of course we've just mentioned new father.
Yes.
Do you intend to have any other ridiculous expenditures when it comes to this?
When it comes to this?
Yeah, you going triple screen. Are you changing the wall mounts? Because I'm looking at a wall mount that isn't being used right now.
So, genuinely? Like, really?
Because I also happen to know you have a chair on the way.
Yes, I have a Cyberpunk Secret Labs chair on the way.
Where's the old one?
The old one's in the other room over there.
Because you have a Secret Labs chair, and they're not known for being cheap. But they're not cheap, but they're not expensive. These chairs can get really expensive.
Yes.
But they're like, what, $450?
$350 is the standard one. The Cyberpunk one is $450.
Yeah.
So
tell us.
I did.
This is a safe space.
I'm being. I hope it is, please.
Hi,
I'm
my
being
name's
tempted.
Ed, and I'm an addict. Hi, Ed.
I'm being tempted genuinely to maybe possibly buy a 3070 GTX graphics card from Nvidia that got announced.
Okay. Okay. So, couple of things.
And we're getting a PlayStation when it comes.
Couple of things. First things first.
Oh god.
I actually tweeted this out, and I'm still curious because in my head it's still the same. The GT7, the 3070.
Yes.
Is $499.
Yes, it is.
Which is what we estimate the PS5 to be.
Roughly, yeah.
I feel like the PS5 at $499 it's the upper end of expensive.
Yes.
$499 for that 3070 seems really reasonable. And it's the same price, and it's just a card, and that thing probably won't frickin' run it. Do we even know if it will fit?
I've done the research, and I've asked many people. Everyone is right on the line. They're like, yes. Yes. Yes.
Yes, but maybe no. No, but actually, yes. The other thing is, like, how high def do you need Minesweeper to be?
That's true. I mean, I played Minesweeper when we installed we built the computer, and it was fantastic. I think I had something like 10,000 frames a second.
Zero kills, zero deaths as well.
Exactly, zero deaths right there.
You beat the game.
So how much more higher resolution do I need it to be that I need to buy this card, right?
Yeah.
The real reason why I'm thinking about getting it, genuinely, the only thing
because otherwise then your chick gets the money, and who wants that?
Exactly, can't do that. No, then it will go to Isla's college fund, and who the hell wants to do that? You fucking good. No,
college is a rip-off. Just teach her how to game.
Exactly, she can be a professional gamer.
Even better, she can be a professional simp farmer on Twitch.
That's it. There's tons of money in that.
Right.
Tons of money.
Don't you dare ask how Isla is. Bringing it back.
Genuinely, what my mind was so Cyberpunk's going to come out this end of this year. It's going to be available on the PlayStation 5, but it's not going to have the upgrades. It's going to have
that's true.
A minor boost in performance, but that's just because it's on powerful hardware.
Yeah.
But the actual update isn't going to be coming until 2021.
Right.
By then, I would have fully completed the game. Maybe played it twice and through on a different life path or something like that. And I want to experience it for the first time in the best way possible.
Yeah, we've been saying this for about 6 months to a year now that we think Cyberpunk should be next gen only.
Yeah.
Next gen only, no lower versions, turn everything up to max, put it on the PS5 and this Series X, or you have to turn that one down, and PC, and just let it be its own thing.
Only reason why it's not is because CD Projekt Red are a lot nicer than we are. they want to include everyone, basically.
I think they're being nice to a fault, to be honest. I think they should just...
That's CD Projekt Red through and through. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about The Witcher as well and how that's coming to next gen and stuff like that, and that is to a fault as well, right?
I agree.
There. But we love them for it.
I'd pay for that.
Exactly. I was ready to pay for it. But anyway,
I was ready to pay the full price.
Exactly. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But that was my thinking. And the price of that graphics card is a lot cheaper than what a graphics card would have been, say, when the 20 series came out.
Oh, yeah.
When the 20 series came out, it was a grand minimum entry, bottom level.
Yeah.
And it was fucking hell. And this is supposed to perform better than the previous generation by a huge margin. And... only $499.
That's the base model.
And that's base model. And that's $499. I think it's $499 for pounds and whatnot.
Oh wait, they're changing it. They're doing a conversion for us. Because normally we get stuck with the same numbers. They just change the currency sign, and we get fricked.
Exactly. I don't know what it's like to sell graphics cards, and the guys that have helped us out to get this graphics card, that money would go into it if it's possible.
So that's one of those things. Is we make the joke. I make the joke about you having this problem with PlayStations, but the truth is, you don't just have a pile of 6 unused PlayStations. You sell one, and that eats into the cost of the next one. So fair question.
So that would be what I would do with this one right here, and also the older capture card we've got, because the new one's now inside the PC. I can get rid of that, and it would help make some of the cost out. But still, there is some to pay. So yes, I have another expenditure upcoming to answer your original question.
Because I was legit expecting you to say, I'm thinking about getting maybe a third monitor because, with the PC.
There is that as well. So I bought this bigger...
We're not even PC gamers. We went to get lunch a minute ago, and I was like, so, how you find the PC? And you're like, it's really great. And I'm like, so you're going to switch? And you're like, not for gaming.
There are people in their cars right now listening to this on their podcast. They're driving, I don't know, a bus full of children or something like that, listening to the podcast. And he's like, I can't have this. Pulls it over, and he takes a fresh breath of fresh air. He's like, fucking hell, I just can't believe Eddie's this fucking ridiculous.
They really are. And the thing is, as well, a couple of people have made comments it must have a lot of money. I know what you make. It's not you don't make a lot of money.
I'm like, when you're treading water and you're really tired, it's that's what I'm doing right here.
When you see people going for a run, you see them at the start and they're powering through, and then by the time they're in, their wrists all...
oh god!
And they're
I can't do it. Yeah. Anyway, there is a thought as well to get a bigger monitor to put in the middle between those for actual gaming, bigger screen, stuff like that. Anyway, that's all the expenditures, I promise.
Liar!
Until I do something wrong and I need to buy my girlfriend a diamond necklace or something like that, whatever happens like that.
You're so...
Anyway, guys, today this is the True Game Podcast.
So what are our topics?
We are going to be talking about a bunch of things. We're going to be talking about The Witcher 3 coming out on the next gen consoles.
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red are doing amazing things there. We're also going to be talking about, let me just pull up my notes just here. I've pulled over, it says lactose intolerance there. I was like, wait, that's the truth. That's Conversations podcast over there.
Wait, have we already had that topic, or are we going to have that topic?
I think we're going to have it next week.
Okay.
EA's UFC having adverts in games now.
Oh, I heard about that.
Great things like that. Gamerant, the website, and their journalists being really bad with wording and really bad with journalism, like all journalists. And the topic of the show, the Xbox Series X is officially announced, is officially real, and we have prices and release dates and everything for the Xbox Series X as well.
Yeah.
So all of them right there.
What do you want to start with?
Let's start with the Xbox Series X. So Xbox this week blew their load and revealed the worst kept secret, the Xbox Series S, and its price of $299, £249 for us in the UK in the real world. And the Xbox Series X's price, $499 and $499, £449.
Yeah.
And both of their release dates, which is going to be the 10th of November this year.
Yeah.
And also pre-orders are going to be going live on the 22nd of September. That's the big news right there.
Just so I'm clear, the S,
Yes.
like for snake,
Yes.
is that what we've been calling the Lockhart for like 2 years?
100% yes.
Motherfrickers! Also, terrible idea. Also, the Xbox One S.
Yes.
How does it compare to the Series S?
The One S is a lot less powerful.
So the S is more powerful than
is
the...
less powerful.
Wait.
So this is your fault, Microsoft. This is your fault. So the Xbox One
Let's call it
S.
Lockhart. We get the Xbox Series S. We're going to call the Lockhart, so
Yes.
we all know what we're talking about here.
Yes.
So the Lockhart.
The Lockhart is more powerful than the other consoles they had before.
Then even they're most powerful for this current gen.
Exactly, yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, and it's on the brand new RDNA 2 architecture, so
Cool.
it's
All
much more
upgrades,
nicer.
it's all gonna be better.
Really cool stuff.
Good.
I'm going to go through a few of the specs just so you get an idea of what's going on here. So the this is going to be in comparison with the Xbox Series X right here.
Okay.
They both have the
It's
same...
the Lockhart to the Series X.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They both have the exact same CPU in them,
Cool.
which is fantastic because it's
Yeah.
a lot less in price.
Except that we know the Lockhart's been turned down. Why would you...
Well, this one for the CPU apparently it's exactly the same.
Okay,
apparently,
okay.
right here. The AMD GPU, this is where there's a bit of a difference. It's got less what they call compute units, and it's a little bit of a lower clock speed.
Okay.
So it's a bit less power. In result, you get 12.15 teraflops from the Xbox Series X, and then from the Lockhart, the S, you are getting 4 teraflops. That's the difference there. There is also one other difference as well, or two other differences, I should say. In terms of RAM, you have 16 gigabytes over on the Xbox Series X and 10 gigabytes on the Xbox Series S.
It's a weird number, but okay.
It's a strange number.
Alright.
And in terms of storage, you have 1 terabyte on the Xbox Series X and 512 gigabytes, so half, on the Xbox Series S right there. Basically, what they're trying to say is that in result, the Xbox Series X is going to be a 4K gaming machine, top of their thing, flagship stuff, and the S is supposed to be a 1440p, slightly lower version.
1440p is still great.
Yes.
A lot of games, I mean, like, the top AAA games will push you to the 4K, but a lot of these games won't. Mm-hmm. I mean, look, I played Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us, all that stuff on a 1080p, 1080p TV, and it still looked amazing.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't have more than 1080p, so I'm not super fussed about like what it will put out graphically. It's the fact that it can't put more than 1440p out. That's the...
Do you know what's really strange about this? And this is the one thing that's bugging me, and I'm just going to talk about this technically, and then I'll go on to my feelings about what I think about this console is. They're treating this like a gaming PC. So when they make a game, they go, okay, here's a gaming PC. We're going to make it so it can run up to 4K on ultra settings and whatnot. Yeah. And if you've got a weaker PC, you just turn down the settings.
Yeah. You dial the knob back.
Exactly. My gaming PC, not powerful at all.
You mean
not
our streaming PC?
Streaming PC. Our streaming PC, because that's what it is. I haven't actually played any games on it, but there you go. Stream PC. I've tried a few games on it. It doesn't run 4K resolution at high settings. It runs it at low settings, but not very well.
And to be fair to the PC, it was actually genuinely built for streaming.
Exactly. It's not built for that. Yeah. But the point I'm trying to make is that it can do 4K, but not very well.
Yeah. You wouldn't want to play like that.
And what they're not saying here is that what's the level of quality going to be in terms of the thing? Is it going to be high settings like it is on the Xbox Series X? They're not saying that bit. So 1440p, I mean, that's a good gauge on what resolution you're going to get. But
one other thing, just because it was the big discussion for a while, 4 teraflops.
Yes.
Isn't the PS4 Pro at 4.2?
yes.
And the Series 1... No. The current Xbox flagship.
The Xbox One X is
Yeah.
6 teraflops, that one. There is a bit of a difference. Because of this whole RDNA 2 architecture, it's all very...
It's that motorway analogy, right? It's the one lane with a high speed limit versus like multiple lanes with a not so high speed limit.
They're not exactly the same, but that it does produce more power in total.
Okay, cool.
And you do get things like ray tracing, which you didn't get on the previous gen consoles and things
like
that.
Still, I agree. I think it will still be an upgrade. My question is now...
Yes.
Because there's nothing to play on it. Is anybody... Genuine question, right? Because I appreciate that some of the guys on the Discord and who listen to us and that stuff really are like all about it. I know like Dan's definitely getting both.
Yes.
My question is, who's going to do that until like... I think if I were to get the Lockhart, because I'm not paying full price for this thing, I only want to unlock a couple of exclusives, which... currently don't exist, but like for Fable, why am I not going to... Because we don't think Fable's coming for at least 2 years. 2022 at the absolute earliest.
Yes.
Never coming 2022. Probably 2023 or 24.
I would believe 2023, yeah. That's what I believe.
Why don't I wait until 2023's Black Friday sale, pick this thing up for £99?
Ding, 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 ding. You nailed it on the head right there.
Right.
So... I want to say, when I first saw this console, I judged it by its cover, just as you do, the first look of it, and I was like, this thing looks ridiculous. It looks like a Bluetooth speaker. It looks like a washing machine. We've seen all of these things right here. It looks ridiculous, and it's funny the washing machine
an old DVD player.
Yeah, exactly. The whole internet has been ablaze, and they're like, so the Xbox Series X is a fridge, and this is this washing machine to go next to it.
Yeah,
and it's also very funny that it has this disc-shaped thing, and it doesn't have a disc drive. That's one thing I forgot to mention as well for this console. Right,
I knew there was something. I was looking at it thinking like, what is off? Like that thing in the middle is ridiculous, but what is off? Do you know what it was? I thought originally I'm like, it kind of looks like an old Discman. You know, it would open like a PlayStation 1.
Yeah, like a PlayStation 1. Yeah.
No, that's not it. And I couldn't put the piece together. And you just reminded me, it's totally digital.
Yep, that's it.
That's what it is. Okay.
So there's that. And I thought to myself, now, would I ever purchase something like this? Because I was solely not in the camp of buying an Xbox Series X. No. A lot of people on the internet, when you did all the polls, it was unanimous that it was going to be PlayStation 5. Maybe in the future, if I find an exclusive that I like, I might look into an Xbox Series X, but it'd have to be cheap.
If they weren't doing this Lockhart, same deal. I'd get a second one.
And that's what I think Microsoft have done.
Yeah.
They were on the ropes before this. They were on the ropes, and people were not going to be buying their console at launch. No. They were going to have very soft launch. It was going to be very bad for them. There was going to be a few hardcore fans that they would attract. And even those people would buy a PlayStation 5. Now...
Interesting.
Now... I can see a world where this is their number 2 console. Everyone's still going to buy a PlayStation 5. That's the way it's going to go. Yeah. But when Halo comes out, when Fable comes out, when the next games from all of those studios come out...
If they're priced in a range where you're like, it's 2 years down the line and it's pretty cheap.
2 years down the line, you've recovered from the cost?
Like, one of the things with Tesla, one of the reasons that people tend to just buy new Teslas is they keep... I can't remember how they do it, but they artificially keep the second-hand market really high. So the difference between getting one that's 3 years old and getting a new one...
You may as well get a new one.
Get a brand new one. Because then it's got all its warranties and stuff. And interesting.
I genuinely think that Microsoft has done something very, very smart here. First time in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
They've done something very smart here, and they've made the second console for every person.
They've gone out of their way. They know everybody's competing for gold, so they're going after silver.
Exactly. They know they can't go for gold. They're like, we've been beaten for gold. Let's go for silver, and we qualify to stay in this race. Bit like how Nintendo...
I need to think about this.
A bit like how Nintendo
just runs a different race.
They do run a different race, but in terms of as a gamer, you're always like, all right, I'm buying a PlayStation or I'm getting a gaming PC, but I'm also going to get a Nintendo Switch because I want to play Pokemon. I want to play that. Cool.
We've talked about this. I don't have both consoles.
Yes.
I have a ton of Nintendo stuff at my... And I didn't even think about it. I've got GameCubes, I've got my N64. I got Game Boys.
Oh man, I want to play something. Pull them out. Let's play them again.
Right, we might have to. Ooh, maybe we could do something like that for one of our streams.
Hook up to a stream or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on.
That's how Nintendo wins, because they just don't play in the same race.
Yeah.
But this is.
These guys, they're in the race, but they're running adjacent to it. And I think they've struck gold with this idea because, you know, when I thought about it, when I sat down and thought about it, and I put my things on Twitter and I said to everybody, I might buy
a Lockhart.
A Lockhart, the same way that I bought an Xbox One S, although I bought the Xbox One S for the Blu-ray player, but I still gave them a sale, I still bought them a console. If down the line, if I play the Halo Master Chief Collection that you've been telling me is a fantastic, and I want to play it on the Lockhart. Well, if I played it before, say on my One S, and then down the line Halo comes out, Halo Infinite comes out, I'm like, do you know what? I've become a Halo fan.
Yeah, you might give it a shot.
And it's now only £200.
Yeah. So, I need to think about this. I'm not sold on, like, you haven't convinced me.
Yeah.
But there's definitely, you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. I don't know if it's a good idea, but you're definitely not wrong. Because here's the thing, what you said. So you just said you bought the Xbox for its Blu-ray player.
Yes, I did.
That's the way the PlayStation 3 stayed competitive.
Infiltrated, right? Trojan horse everyone.
Sony made it so the PS3 was the best Blu-ray player on the planet, and also cheaper than their Blu-ray player. Yes. So you were better off just getting the PS3.
Yep.
And then you had a PS3, why not play some of the games? Right? Or you can just give it to your kid or your nephew while they're over or something, right? Yeah. So there's definitely something here. I need to think about this.
Let me read a few comments out while you lament that a little bit right there. I did ask our guys over on our Discord server, which you watching right now or listening can be a part of by clicking that link in the description. Head over there. So best place in the world. Our boy Uncle Noli, he writes in. I asked people what their thoughts are on the Xbox Series S. He goes, I feel that the Xbox Series X will not perform well, especially with the lack of content and exclusives. I can only name 2 exclusive for Xbox Series X, and that's Halo Infinite and Fable. To me, never really cared about FPS or its 8K or its 4K. I buy the console to play the games. The Xbox is now just a console for a middle-aged man who wants to play COD or FIFA. Yeah. Genuinely, that's what it is. However, with the confirmation of the Xbox Series S, I feel like that may perform well, and a lot of casual gamers will buy it because it's cheap and it's next gen. Because you do still get like a fast loading times with the new SSD and the ray tracing and stuff like that.
All of it's going to be quicker and better than current gen.
Than what we've got already. Not to mention that I can see many people who have bought an actual console like the PS5, so little underhand jab right there, may even purchase the Xbox Series X due to trying out Fable or Halo and mainly Game Pass, which is the only advantage of the Xbox now. That's another advantage. Personally, for me, I will for sure be spending all my money on PS5, and if I couldn't manage to get a good gaming PC, then I will have this alternative, which costs only $299. So I could try out previous exclusive games and the games that will be available on Game Pass.
See, I'm actually thinking something quite similar to that, which is that in 2023, when Fable comes out, I might get. By that point, it's going to be what, $199.
It's got to be less, right? Because like 3 years down the line, surely it's going to be
a second-hand one. I reckon you would be hard pushed to not. If you were looking, you could get $129 on one from CEX or something. Just for Fable.
I think a lot of people are in this camp, and I'm in that camp as well. The one thing that's a detract, and I don't know how big of a detract this is, because mainly the people that are going to buy it for the 1 or 2 games that we mentioned, and they're going to be on Game Pass, and you'd be kind of stupid not to get Game Pass if you're going to get an Xbox.
It's a fantastic service, which we have honestly not. I can't think of a bad, apart from what it does to hurt Microsoft's gaming division, and Xbox. I
feel like eventually it'll have a knock-on effect. If it doesn't prove popular enough, eventually there's not going to be enough money going back into those games to prove for the next one.
I think you're actually spot on. I think Game Pass ultimately is doomed to have not been successful enough to keep itself alive, but was successful enough to kill off the Xbox.
If it was on PlayStation, I think there's enough users. Anyway, we're getting sidetracked from there. The one thing that I think is a detract from it all is that it's digital only. So you can't buy this cheap console on the side or whatever and then go into a used game store and whatnot and buy a bunch of games that you might want to play. You have to go digital. So it's like, I'm going to get this second-hand one. Maybe you pick it up for £150. Maybe. And then you have to pay full price for Halo when it comes out. Or if you get Game Pass, that's the best way to do it.
I completely actually forgot about Game Pass, because if I get one, and again, probably not getting it from Xbox, probably getting it used or whatever, because I'm into it for the price point. I'm getting it for Fable.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not fussed about buying. I might get a collector's edition for Fable. I really.
That's how much you like Fable. Massive fan.
I've made two big mistakes with collector's editions. I should have got the Doom collector's edition. Doom
Yes, you
Eternal.
should have.
I really regret not getting that.
Nirok hates you for that. Fucking every day he wakes up in the morning.
I hate
like,
myself.
fucking Sheps.
You know when we were at EGX and we'd crossed the point of no return and we saw the helmet there? I felt really bad. That was a mistake. And I talked you out of getting The Last of Us 2, the Ellie edition.
Yeah.
From what we knew, I probably would have told myself I think it was the right choice from what we knew. Having played the game, I really feel bad about that. I feel really bad about that. Because, I don't know, like, I should never have trusted anyone, online or journalists. They're all dickheads. All of you.
Listen, I'm a seasoned limited edition. What's the person when they're like their hopes are crushed after a person who's crushed by not buying limited editions and whatnot? I'm very seasoned in that department. I know the feeling, and don't worry. I don't blame you at all. Don't blame you at all for anything you've ever done.
What are you doing for Cyberpunk?
Cyberpunk, I'm definitely buying the collector's edition. It's already pre-ordered. I actually pre-ordered 2. I don't need the second one, but I haven't cancelled it. There's something in my head that's
just in
like...
case.
I don't know what it is. There's something in my head that's like... But then if I cancel it, I only have one. It's like, when you go parachuting and you have the backup parachute.
Oh yeah, you need
it's
backup.
Like, you pull the first one, then it doesn't work. It's like, but if I pull this next one, then I have no parachute. It's the dumbest thought ever.
Oh my god, that's not how that works at all. I love you so much.
Anyway,
Yeah, you're the best.
Another one of our guys writes in, that's our boy Diogo, and he says, Xbox Series X, what's that? Peasant unit? No, that's the peasant unit back there.
Yeah.
It goes, 2 weeks till Mafia, baby. That's all I care about. Oh, the PS5 pre-order since Microsoft's things just got leaked. And then he says, edit. So since Microsoft's officially revealed it, $300 or about £250 is great considering it's a setup for the Xbox. It's a step up, from the Xbox Series One X. My apologies, Microsoft. You're fucking me with these names.
It's so bad.
But it's like £100 cheaper, which is actually interesting. Cheaper than the current flagship.
Yeah.
And more powerful. Still waiting to see how the performance will be. If it's good, I could pick one up in a few years' time.
Yeah.
Another person.
Oh, do you know what? I was just thinking, well, they made it cheaper, but they're killing off any sales that if anyone was to wanted really desperately to buy one now. But I bet their sales are lower anyway because it's coming. They know the next gen's coming out. Plus, as the pandemic, this is the perfect time to undercut yourself.
Yep. Do you know what would have been amazing? Do you know what would have made this fly off the shelves?
Go on.
If Halo Infinite wasn't delayed.
Yeah, well, of course.
Everyone would have gone, give me a Series S right now. They would have sold 1 million in the first year. It would have been fantastic.
Easily. The thing is, though, not from what they showed. If you're going to have Halo Infinite, it's got to be, you don't use a build from January.
That's a good point.
Build.
We have a little bit about Halo and the new creative director come back in a bit, so we'll talk a little bit about that. But what they showed would not have sold Halo, right?
Let's read these last comments because I want to know your predictions for the PS5.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. There is one more thing. So I think that's all of the people who are mentioning about the series. Oh, here we go. Nitro King, he said as well. He goes, what's the point of the Xbox Series S? All Xbox exclusives for the foreseeable future are going to be on the One, so why would you get it? Also, the market Microsoft is going for with the Series S is people who can't afford to buy the Series X. But in my opinion, I don't think they will buy a next-gen console for a while. I think there's a slither that you're forgetting about, and that's what we're in, I think. People who don't want to buy the Xbox Series X because they don't want to spend that much money on a console that's not going to have the best games on it.
Also, for me, I'm specifically considering, and I'm not sold, but considering this for 2023, specifically for Fable, which by that point probably the series, the 1S or whatever the frick it's called, won't be playing. So Fable probably hopefully won't be able to be played on this current generation. And by that point, I'll be so used to the ray tracing on the PlayStation 5 and stuff that's the market. If you were just getting it to get onto the ecosystem, then like you're probably right. Like the secondhand market for the Xbox One is probably the way to go. But why? There's nothing there. Do you know what I mean? So to get it with the ray tracing and it'll be a price point that's worth getting. Yeah, I mean, maybe. Tell me what you think about the PS5.
So this was a big thought. After the price got leaked for the Xbox Series X and officially revealed for the Xbox Series X and the Xbox Series X, I thought about it long and hard. $500 and $300. I do think that PlayStation would want to, and I think they have the capacity to undercut them by a bit.
I think they do.
I think it could be $450.
Okay.
$450 makes it £399, by the way, which is cheap.
Because I was going to say...
Cheap for what we thought.
Now's the perfect time for Sony to stumble.
Oh.
Which is they price match the flagship Xbox because they misunderstand and think that that's their
main competitor.
So here's the thing. I think if you're correct and Microsoft have finally got smart and they're pulling a Sony level move, like from 2018 to now, this is what their strategy has been, like pulling out V3. We all thought it was a mistake. And they positioned themselves so that the Lockhart's the real product that they're trying to make money on. And if the PlayStation 5 doesn't clock that, they price match $499, and then knowing that their real flagship profit model is the Lockhart, they can sell the Series X at $349 or $399. On day of release, they just instruct all their retailers take $50 off, take $100 off. Like suddenly they're way back in the race.
Yeah,
I don't think that would that wouldn't stop me getting the PS5. I don't care how good the price is on the Xbox. I'm not getting it. There's nothing to play on it, and I'm getting it full games.
the problem is that there are, no matter what you do, if you bring out any product, price is always a big factor.
There's a section of the market,
and there'll be people that buy that.
It all comes down to, in my opinion, it all comes down to Sony understanding which of these two products they're actually up against. And I think you may be right. You've actually won me over. I think the Lockhart's their real. Do you know what this is? You know McDonald's.
Yeah.
Where they make the money, that's why they always say, like, do you want to upgrade to large or whatever?
Yeah.
Because the chips and the drink cost them fucking nothing.
There's
that 70p difference.
Yeah.
It's like a penny to them.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why because that 70p is such a huge profit margin.
Yeah.
Because all of it comes in. I bet the cardboard for the boxes for stuff is more expensive than the increase in drink.
Yeah.
And fries and stuff. So that's where they ask, do you want to go large? Mm-hmm. Right? And I think this is the same thing where they realise that all the profits, like this is the upgrading. It's that tiny little thing, so they can actually make their money here. If Sony don't realise that and they price match,
the only thing
they could do what you said. They could come in at.
The only thing is that PlayStation have made this console, and it's clear from what's inside it that it's going to have a hefty price tag.
Yeah.
It can't match the Xbox Series S in any way in terms of price. No. Purely because the Series S has made concessions. It's made compromises to get that price down.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've lost the drive. You've lost a significant amount of power, more than half of the power, and you've made it to look like a Bluetooth speaker, so it fucking looks awful.
Absolutely.
And the PlayStation, the only thing they've done is they've given you one model without a drive in it.
Yeah.
I think that the only thing they can do is look at the Xbox Series X, say that they're going to maintain that price for as long as they can, and then they have to try and undercut that by as much as they can. Or
you think they're going to come out $449?
It's tough. It's a big ask to go lower than $449.
Oh yeah, I agree. I think a flagship model coming in at, I think $399 is really stretching it. The question is, and this is something that they will know that we don't, what's the long tail? Right? That many users with that many microtransactions, and they must have an idea of who, like Does Fall Guys have microtransactions or anything like that?
I think it does. Yeah.
Or they must have an idea of like
yeah.
how many downloads has it got? How much are people spending? How much of a cut do they get? How much does it cost them to connect to servers? All that stuff.
That's the thing. I think they feel comfortable in their online services or their partnerships or the studios they have to say, if we were to drop the price, $100, $50, whatever we're saying here, I think they're confident enough that they will say we'll make that back.
I think so. I think they could.
Will they?
Yeah.
Because we've said before, when you sell at a loss, you compound your loss every time you make a sale. So if you go $10 down, not so bad, you can make that back. But if you go $100 down in the beginning, $100 times by 1 million, you've got $100 million deficit that you've got right there. How do you recover that shit?
But I mean, how many copies did Ghost of Tsushima sell?
A lot. Yeah.
Right. What about
Last of Us? Fucking Horizon, God of War.
We got some big hitters coming. Plus, look, all the kids that they get it for Christmas and they just log into Fortnite and start spending mummy's money on the credit card.
I think the next reveal...
we have to see a price soon. The
fucking pre-orders are going live for Xbox on the 22nd. If we don't get a price anytime soon...
I think we either get a price by this weekend or end of September. I think they wait. I think they wait because they let everybody really think about the Xbox thing, right? Because right now, $299 to $499, it's about double it's a little bit less than double the price. So people are really eyeing it up. If they're going to undercut, and then they just come up with the branding, the video they come out with is to let everybody sit with $499 for the flagship. Because right now there's no competition.
Yeah.
Everyone sit at $499, and then on the video they show Kratos, they show Aloy, they show everybody, and they say all of this for $449.
That's the thing that I was going to say, that in the next video, the next presentation they do, and they say they're planning to show off the price and whatnot. Because apparently, according to industry insiders, there are things that they've held back to give like their mic drop moment. We don't know what that is. I would love it to be God of War tease for like a Ragnarok, whatever it's going to be.
Dude, a 7-second just to end it out of like Kratos and like a teenage
I've been fucking imagining it, I'm just that fucking crazy that I'm imagining. I'm like, how would they do it? They'd have to do it in a way where you hear boy in the distance and everyone goes, ah!
Here's what I would do. Knowing that this is coming up, because they will have known that they're releasing this console. You do the teaser boy, but it's black.
Yeah.
Fade in. Atreus comes up. Kratos puts his arm around it, and then Atreus says, all of this is for us, or something random, right? You work that into the script
somehow,
and Kratos says yes, and then you price reveal 449.
It would be great, and that would make 449 seem the perfect price for everybody. They'll be like, I get to play this.
Yeah.
Anyway,
also, I'm not gonna lie. Now I'm thinking about it just because I'm pretending I'm on the marketing team. I would have them do like those cheesy. Have you seen Happy Gilmore?
Yes.
With Adam Sandler, he's like a hockey player. He becomes a golfist.
He plays it with a hockey stick, right? Yeah.
And then at the end, to make the money so he can get around to all the things, he does these Subway ads. He's like, I eat 2 of these a day.
Yeah.
I would have some cheesy ads of like Kratos coming out and being like, boy, you better get a PlayStation 5. Do some really cheesy ads.
They do that with after the games come out, they get the assets and they turn them into GIFs and they put them out in the wild. That could be a cool fucking ad spot right now.
Man.
Gun to your head. And then gun to your balls.
Yeah.
How much will the PlayStation 5
Don't
be?
shoot me in the balls.
That's your last word, bang!
Shit. Okay, look. Whoever's making these decisions at Sony has been spot on. I think we have to assume they know.
Yeah.
Right? They've been so right about everything, even things that like I'm okay at this.
Yeah.
And like I thought pulling out of E3 at the beginning was a really bad idea. In fairness, I did say it could be a good idea. But they went for it. I'm gonna say that one guy that has that superpower where he can just make suits listen to him, knows what he's doing or she's doing. I'm going to say they know that competing with the Series X isn't worth doing because there's nothing to play. They understand they're making a gaming machine.
But they'll beat them regardless. It's not a competition.
The point of these things is gaming, and the Xbox doesn't have any, so that they have to then compete on price point. And so...
Price.
449. 449.
449. There you go.
Yeah.
And then the digital version?
Will be like $50 less than that.
Yeah?
Yeah, $399.
I'm exactly in the same boat as you. I was going to say 449.
Yeah.
I said this on Twitter, 399. However, we did think before that there was a rumor going around they were going to make the difference $100 because Sony believed that they would make the money back. Well, they believed they would make the money back on microtransactions because the digital... so they make money back on digital stuff and whatnot because digital's way more, and also they have to buy all the games through the digital store on the digital version. But I think they were making a loss on that bottom end on the $399 in the first place. And with this new price, if they choose to undercut the top level, the disc version, I don't think they can go a further $50 down.
But also they don't have to. It's not a Lockhart.
It's true.
It's the full chili pepper Vindaloo.
You're getting the full experience.
It's
no
just do you want
compromises.
digital or not.
Yes.
So I actually don't think it's appropriate. Or well, don't get me wrong, it would be great for it to be $100 cheaper, but I just don't think they need to. It's the same product. Just do you want to save money or not? Like it's digital only or not?
It's not the same.
I will say this.
Go on.
If they come out and it's 449, you're correct, and the Lockhart's the Xbox Play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if Sony don't come out 449, they've misread the landscape, and your play is correct. I think, to be clear, if they come out 449, I'm not saying Xbox isn't doing what you're saying, but that Xbox is going for silver, and the fact is that maybe PlayStation understanding that is just going to take gold, silver, and bronze, right? But I feel like you're on something with this.
I feel like PlayStation have got the gold. Xbox have seen that they've got the gold. They just can't obviously say it in so many words. That's why they have to keep going. The most powerful gaming console ever. Play every other game that you can play.
Any third-party title you like.
We're launching with the biggest library of games. Oh, well, we mean backwards compatible games. We mean all the old games that you don't want to play. All them ones. So I think they know that. Which also
isn't a bigger library.
I think they know that, and they go, we're going to go for silver, still make a ton of money. People are still going to buy these consoles, I think, as their secondary machine, but they're going to allow PlayStation to go for the gold. And maybe in 2 or 3 years' time, maybe when they make some exclusives that are genuinely good, and then they can pump those out, they'll start to gain more traction, and then they'll gear themselves up for the final gen, whatever it is, if it's final gen, whatever.
I kind of feel like it might be, unless this strategy somehow feels like they're back in the race.
Because before it was dead. We was like, Xbox is dead on arrival. How are they going to do it?
Muhammad Ali versus a crippled baby.
Yeah.
But if they go for silver this generation, they slowly eat up the distance. Because no one's paying attention to silver, man. Everybody's interviewing gold.
Exactly.
And then suddenly you realise, actually, no, we also sold like 70 million units, not 100 million.
Silver still gets to be on not the front page of magazines, but like centerfold magazines and health things and whatnot.
Silver gets mentioned in any interview with gold.
Sponsorships, you still get this. There's arch rivals and whatnot that get mentioned still
interesting thing. It's going to depend on Xbox's positioning. Boys, I swear we will get off consoles in a minute. But here's the thing.
It's the topic of the show. People want to hear this.
For exactly what Sony's going for, which is things like God of War and The Witcher and Cyberpunk and stuff.
Yeah.
Their architecture is brilliant. But for something like Call of Duty, the Xbox machines absolutely set up, because it's all linear tasks. So if their play is to just jump in at the MLG level and be anyone who's playing on console... and start sponsoring events and like Fortnite. I know the real serious guys play on PC and maybe use controllers, but most of them play mouse and keyboard. But if they sponsor it and say, this is the best place to play Call of Duty, this is the best place to play Fortnite or whatever.
They're trying to get in with branding.
Because they don't need... Like that, the memory stuff that the PlayStation is doing is brilliant for things like Ratchet and Clank, but it's just going to go to waste. Or it's just not going to be needed or utilised for something like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
If they make that play as well... Okay, I'm not feeling as depressed as I was about this whole thing, because I was really scared that Xbox was just going to die and then we lose the pressure on Sony.
You said famously, we need the competition, and we was worried it was going to go away.
I think you're right. It took me a minute, but I think you're right.
I think this is absolutely
I think
amazing.
you're right.
You know,
I think you might be right.
I'm so happy about this. As we've said before, and people probably didn't believe us because they see us and we're like, so fucking Sony ponies and stuff like that. But we wanted Xbox to do good, and this is genuinely a way for them to do great. And it doesn't mean that PlayStation fails. It means PlayStation does great, Xbox does great, and we all get great games together.
I didn't get an Xbox this generation. I'm considering the Lockhart in a few years.
There you go.
So,
the way that this was revealed, by the way, do you know how this got revealed?
no.
So a Twitter user by the name of Brad Sams somehow got the leaked picture with the price and the release date and posted it all on Twitter.
Okay.
Within hours, someone else just said, I guess there's no point in me holding on to this, and posted the official trailer that Xbox had.
Yeah.
And it was a very cool trailer. I was like, I'm sold on this trailer. This looks really good.
I remember, so I didn't realise it was because a leak had happened. I just saw that trailer, and I said, imagine if this was the quality of trailer Xbox had led with in this run-up to things. But I didn't know it was because the price got leaked. I just saw someone going, guess I'll just release this.
Yeah. And then the official Xbox Twitter account. You know there's that puppet that does the eyes that goes like that?
Yeah.
They posted that picture. And it was so funny. It was like, oh my God, I'm dying right here.
So I didn't know about that. I'm now 100% sold that your theory about the Lockhart being the actual main console and that they're going for silver is correct.
That's it.
I'm now sold. I think we're now in a good spot.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I think we're now in a good spot. There's nothing to play on Xbox for a while. When Fable comes out, I'm probably going to get a Lockhart. I want to say one thing. Pound the back to us. We've been talking about the Lockhart for ages. The rumour thing that wasn't going to happen. And we said, no, I still think they would do this.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that for a year and a half.
Yep.
You're welcome, boys.
You're welcome, guys.
Your number one source of gaming, journalism, and investigative googlies and whatever, right?
Subscriber rules for more leaks and inside infos.
We said even when they confirmed, do you remember when they confirmed they weren't doing the Lockhart?
Yeah, so it was
they did it in such a way that all they had to do was rename the Lockhart, and it still.
It was like the Xbox Series X was revealed, and it's like we thought we were going to get a second Xbox. It's like we didn't say we was going to reveal a second Xbox, but it's like but you didn't say that it doesn't exist.
Yeah. Exactly. Or they were like, or they said something like, no, this event was for our flagship product, so we never said we would show you another.
It was like, so fucking, we knew what you were doing right there.
And we even said, so is it, like, they haven't said they're not doing it. We said that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Frick these guys.
And then after that tweet, they were just sort of like, well, I guess there's no point in holding the secret in anymore. Here's the Xbox Series S, guys. It's coming in the 299. The Xbox Series X. 10th of November. Get hyped, everyone go. Let's do it.
Didn't we say that one of the ways you would actually reveal the price is by a leak? I swear we called this.
There is... So, tinfoil hat, guys. Get your tinfoil hat on right there. Put them right there. This leak was too high quality.
See, and why aren't Xbox angry at this guy?
Right? Either someone is getting fucked.
See, normally
this was intentional.
The tweet is...
Either way, it worked.
This is inappropriate. You shouldn't be releasing stuff, but it's out, so we'll damage control. We'll like, take it in our stride. I swear we said this. I swear we freaking called.
We've said it many times. We every time we look at a leak now, we're like, that has some suspicious.
Yeah,
there's a suspicious smell on it there.
Yep, bullshit. It's a bullshit leak.
Sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit. Anyway.
Yep.
That was the Xbox Series X,
cool.
S, sorry, I should say, got revealed, and all the prices and stuff
seriously,
like that.
Boys, now that you're on track, and you're obviously watching us, guys at Microsoft, branding. We got to talk about this.
Especially when the Series S, so Ethan tweeted me afterwards, and he was like, I know there's not actual S's in that, but it sounds like there's too many S's.
Yeah.
Because the X makes an S sound.
Xbox.
The Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S is... And I was like, whoa, too much there, too much going on there.
Here's my question. Why not go with a Y? Because they have X and Y buttons. Plus, everybody's like, X, Y, Z, these are your options, X or Y.
I think what it is, do you know what? This is me being stupid right now. They would be like, X and Y, that's male and female chromosome, innit? So we can't say it's a girl console.
Freaking suit was like X and Y. Well, an X, all a Y is like it's
half
that,
an
right?
X, yeah.
Yeah. So what if people get it wrong? We needed something more similar. X and S. You mother frickin' suit.
Anyway, a little bit more information coming out from Xbox. One bit of good news.
Yeah.
Game Pass getting even more valuable.
Okay.
You know EA Play's Pass thing where you pay an EA
yeah.
subscription, you get all of their games, you get early access for like 10 hours before release or whatever it is, something like that. Being included for free inside Game Pass now.
That's actually pretty good.
An incredible service, just got even better for everybody.
This is what I'm saying about Xbox. I feel really good. They're back in the race.
Isn't it?
You made me really happy with that idea. That's good thinking. Xbox has the capacity to make these really good, really smart business moves. Like I said, if they sponsor things, right? If they sponsor the right streamers, like anybody that's Call of Duty only, and they get them to play console COD, this is the best place to play Call of Duty on a console. Yeah. They sponsor them MLG, or whatever it's called now, right? They sponsor the pro gamers. There are people. We used to be those guys who were only playing Call of Duty for like 4 or 5 years. That's all we played.
Time, yeah.
It was our only game, and then the only time we changed, it was to Battlefield. Basically the same kind of deal. That group of people is large and still exists, and they can get these guys, and I think they should. This is a good play, and Game Pass is already a really good deal.
Yeah,
it's a really good deal. I am still worried that it's too good, that there's less incentive to be playing on an Xbox, because if you're on PC, you can just get Game Pass.
That's another thing. Xbox's Game Pass is also available on PC. I believe it's very slightly different. Like 1 or 2 games don't apply on it. Like
almost nothing,
like Flight Simulators on the PC version, but it's not on the Xbox, and vice versa. There's probably something like that. But still, it's being included in the PC one as well, just adding even more value. I never found myself compelled to buy EA Play Pass.
Why?
Because it's EA at the end of the day.
First of all, giving EA money, but
not a good idea. Wouldn't recommend it.
What do they bring out that you would be desperate to play 10 hours early? Like Call of Duty, because it's like the fun. Right? Forget EA.
It used to be things like Battlefield. It used to be things like there was a Star Wars game every now and again, but they're really inconsistent now.
It would be cool to play a Star Wars game a little bit early, but as we know, it's possible to get the game earlier than 10 hours anyway. And something like Star Wars, I know I'm going to be playing it for like 2 or 3 years. Getting it 10 hours early doesn't matter, because I'll make that time up in the back end. What would you be really genuinely desperate to get early?
The only thing that I'm thinking about this whole new story right now is that it's great to add value to something that you probably would have bought if you have the opportunity to, which is Game Pass. Yeah. But you wouldn't go buy it yourself.
Sure.
So I'm like, great, this is extra value for people on an already great service.
Yeah.
Good move, Microsoft, and especially good timing as well with the lock cart coming out.
Yeah.
Buy a lock cart, buy that. And also they announced their all access pricing. Do you remember this? The leasing contract they had?
Yeah.
And that comes with Game Pass Ultimate inside it. So if you were to go for that, you could get the console, you could get the machine, get the Game Pass as well.
So now, on Game Pass, included for free, you can play UFC and watch ads 10 hours before you were gonna be allowed.
That's a good transition into that topic. Let's go right into that. So EA's UFC game, for those of you guys that have never known a UFC game before,
I'm struggling to get this through my head.
It's just like FIFA essentially, where every year they come up with another version, except they don't have to change the skins. Maybe they need to add a tattoo every now and again. That's all they need to do. And EA say, in order to make the experience authentic to the real thing, to watching it on TV, they are plastering ads in between replays and over the bottom half of the screen, the lower third part just there.
This knockout brought to you by Subway.
And it was the boys that they showed off in this. That's a good advert, cool. but still, and it's a $60 full-priced game. EA, fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's not cool. Funnily enough, though, there was an ad for Norman Reedus' show on Amazon Prime. Where I presume this show was just him going around to all these different custom motorbike builders and riding their bikes.
I was going to say, what could Norman Reedus possibly do?
Because I think he's big into bikes and stuff.
That would make sense. He looks like that.
But I saw it. He's taking a shit. And the thing comes around so you can't see.
Yeah.
And then there's an ad that comes up and it's like Norman Reedus, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, interesting, but it did take me out a bit.
Yeah, and the
then
monster thing as well.
the monsters. My beef with the monster is like the branding is in your face. Everything is lined up perfectly for it. Like,
Hey, let's get a drink. Monster grabs can.
And the cans all look picture perfect. If they were any more perfect, they'd be sweating with that one bead dripping down the side, right? Where's the one that you like grip a little bit too hard and it's like got the where is that?
Or you grab it and whatnot, like the thing doesn't, like for example, like right now in Coke commercials, it perfectly lines up with Coca-Cola
Right.
there, and it's like.
Or how many times have you got one of these things and like the pallet was dropped and so there's a little like kink in the drinky bit,
Yes.
right? or like the this thing got snapped or it's up at an ugly angle.
Yeah.
Like none of these cans are all perfect, Norman.
So back to UFC.
Yes.
UFC have now put
How long
adverts
are
in
the
their
ads?
game.
Are they skippable?
They're not skippable.
yeah.
They're only a few seconds long, but they do kind of. It's bad because it's in a full price game.
Yeah.
And what makes this extra bad?
That's horrible to drink out of, Norman. I appreciate you taking your time to make your proper drinks, your monster drinks.
What's extra bad about this is
Yeah.
that these ads were not in the game prior to release.
They patched them in.
So the reviewers didn't get to see these
They
before.
patched them in.
They waited to get the correct score for the game, and then they patched in adverts after the fact.
That's not okay.
Some shady shit.
Also, here's why. Let me ask you one question.
Go on.
Have the reviewers altered their scores?
I don't know, but knowing journalists, games journalists, they probably
not.
don't give a crap.
Because for me,
They've got their clicks now, they don't give a shit.
we're not games journalists, but if we had like one of those freaking like comboplations.blogspot,
Yep.
whatever.
A huge banner at the beginning of it.
Of course, yeah.
This game, after the fact, after we did our review, patched in adverts, deliberately tried to deceive us.
Yeah.
Word of caution, make your own decision after that, but they deliberately tried to deceive us right here. Read on.
That's the thing. Like if it was like normally a 9 out of 10, I would put it to a question mark out of 10 or a 5 out of 10 or something.
It's invalidated the
and
score
also,
now.
Yeah, and also, and this is why I don't trust games journalism, because what these articles do is they put the clickbait at the beginning, and then all the way down the bottom they say, but despite all these things that were true 6 months ago, but now in this new build, when you get it, none of this will be true.
Yeah.
The game is pretty good. That's all the way down the bottom.
Yeah.
I would reverse that and go,
Up to the top.
boom, this game is a 6 out of 10. Why? Because on this date, they patched in ads that we didn't experience when we initially gave this a 9 out of 10. Mm-hmm. And as a result, until the game comes out and we get to play it and see how intrusive those are, I'm putting it at a do not buy.
Yeah.
Boom. I mean, we'd never get the games anymore, but that's why it's all a
When
Come
you're
on,
when you're fair, when you're true, when you're honest, you don't get what you need.
right, exactly, and that's why even streamers, you got to be careful because they ultimately are getting paid. Part of the business model is business interactions, right?
Play nice, and then everything moves
Exactly.
smoothly.
So after the first week of the game coming out, when they're no longer being sponsored, are they still playing it? That's how you know it's worth playing.
Yeah. That happened, and then EA they released a whole statement afterwards.
Let's hear it.
I was all like, we've heard the outcry from our community. We realize now that this was a bad move and whatnot, and they have reversed their thing. They've removed the ads from the game.
Okay.
But it's like, we've spoken to our team now. We've decided that this was a bad idea. It's like,
What?
if you had put this in the game from the beginning, when the reviewers got to view it, and then it went out, and then people said, "Oh, this is terrible," I would understand, kind of. But it is EA, so I'd still be a bit skeptical. But you
added
people
it.
aren't gonna like this, so we're gonna take it out. Then we're gonna put it in. People put up too much of a stink. I thought maybe they might deal with it. All right, fuck it, let's take it out. Then I guess we lost this round. Not sorry, we listened to our community. You tried something and failed. That's what happened right there.
Honestly,
Why do we trust EA? Why?
I honestly think, ranking companies are like worst to best. Skynet, EA,
Yes.
right? Like
GLaDOS.
like this is not a good company for consumer care. Let's say that, right?
Yes.
There are some good games that they don't make. They fund or whatever, right? But they don't care about you. They will frick you at any possible turn.
I don't understand EA,
What do you then?
They don't have
enough money.
They don't have to be that greedy.
Especially
they
that-
make so much money from FIFA Ultimate Team or whatever the hell it is.
FIFA, UFC, the easiest games. These games are the way we did homework, which
Yeah.
was wait till the day it was due in,
Yeah.
or the day before, and bang it out and hand it in, right? These reskin games don't take a team of 100 devs 2 years to make.
No.
It takes a team of like 5 devs 3 days to update the skins, and then they print the thing and send them out, right?
But wait, they added a few more people in the crowd, and this
Well, that's
time
a good
instead of
point.
doing this, they do this. So
That's a very good point. Also,
big difference,
can
big
we
difference.
make like options for like, are the women like shoulder length hair? Did everybody shave that morning? You know,
Exactly.
these are the crowd options. These are the things EA. Especially there, like EA. It was EA that had Destiny under them for what was it? EA?
No, it was Activision.
Oh, it was Activision.
Activision is another terrible company that do stupid shit and
Yeah,
whatnot. But yeah,
Same fish, different pond. You
Yeah.
know, like these are not the things that, especially these reskin games that just are not that difficult. You know exactly how many you're going to sell. They're not that hard to do, to update.
I genuinely believe that they thought. No, I don't think they thought. I think they sold themselves on the idea. They went because people who play UFC and FIFA and stuff like that
Yeah.
aren't like us gamers. I'm gonna say. I know we joke about it, say they're not gamers, but they are gamers. They're just not us level gamers. We're narrative story. We've got a little bit of multiplayer, but they're just like FIFA and COD, and then that's it.
Yeah.
The people who play FIFA and play UFC are the people who watch UFC and watch FIFA, watch football and
It's
stuff
football
like
fans.
that.
These are the guys that
Exactly.
play Football Manager and take off the game, the playable bit of it. So you know, like,
Exactly, and they see those adverts on the TV when
Yeah.
they see it. So to them, it probably is. Okay, I completely understand. It's completely normal to me. And I think EA sold themselves on that idea. They were like, they're going to think it's normal. It's going to be fine. How we make extra money? Who
think
doesn't
you're
like
right.
extra money, guys?
I
Right?
think you're right.
And then when the game came out, they were like, oh shit, we completely misjudged this. No, we're not going to be able to pull the wool over their eyes. Goodbye.
That's the thing as well. Is like the guys that play FIFA and stuff. Generally, that's what they like to play the most of the time. Like we were COD guys. We mostly played COD.
Yeah.
These guys are the same way. Like all they want to do is play football, talk about football, watch football. Right? This isn't everybody that plays FIFA, but like their staple audience, the guys that get it each year, they're the guys that get their football team's shirt and away shirt each year. There's a reason they change it every year, because you're the Muppet that's buying it. You know, those shirts don't cost 80 quid either. You know,
Yep,
they get
yep.
put together in a sweatshop in Indonesia for like, you know, £1
Pennies.
for 1,000, right? Like, and EA tried to take advantage of them. The thing is, though, that group of people, despite not being like, they're game specific, but they are gamers. They spend a fair amount of time on the internet as well.
Yeah.
They have Twitter because they talk about football, because that's all they want to talk about. Like, they're gonna let you know they're still gamers. They still have the internet.
Exactly.
And a lot of these guys, by the way, are very serious gamers. Like Smash Bros, which is like a very cartoony game for anybody who doesn't know it. That's got like an MLG scene.
Yeah.
And they take it seriously. So does Pokemon. Like, there are people that are very competitive about these things, and they take it very seriously. They're very talented.
So when the community spots something, they can make a loud noise.
Yeah, the Tekken and Street Fighter groups, like those, there are people that make their full-time income playing fighting games, which to me sounds like one of the most boring things possible. Right, but then to them, their idea of someone playing Call of Duty professionally,
Yes.
or Halo or whatever, just sounds awful.
Yeah.
Right? Like, these people spend their lives on the internet, EA. Like, you need to pay attention.
I can't believe they tried this, to be honest. It's really...
But one of the things that I thought
So
they would never get away with is the cards. The cards in the game. You know, they have like those card packs.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's so ridiculous. There's no way these guys are going to like fall for it. Because to me, that's just a money-grabbing opportunity. The fact is, these dudes seem to really love it.
Yeah.
You can find videos with like 5 million views of like pulling a... I don't know any football in it.
Pulling
a blue Messi on 50 card decks.
that's
whatever.
it.
You know, or like a shiny...
I've never understood that, you know. I mean, I see the reactions, and because I completely don't understand anything, normally when you see a reaction, you kind of feed off of their energy. But when I see these people, they're like, oh yeah, oh Messi, oh, I'm like,
Yeah, it does nothing for me.
what?
But if I open a pack of Pokemon cards, and I got like a shiny Charizard, well, forget Charizard's pretty big, but like, I'm like, oh, it's a Venusaur, yeah!
What blood?
Right, like, so I get that, but I don't get the virtual card.
Yeah, especially because you can't hold it, you can't look at it, you don't put it in a set and like admire it.
Right.
as I'm saying it, I feel like there are probably going to be some people like, why the fuck would you want to collect cards for?
Yeah, they're just going to take up space and...
I think we're just not in it. We're just not.
I agree. But to me, that was one that was like, there's no way. What? Also, are they going to do surprise mechanics? Are there like UFC cards?
They're probably... I bet you there is. I mean, there's not that many people there.
I gotta say, the sports cards, I don't get it, right? Like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or whatever, or Magic the Gathering, it's a game.
You use it to like battle other people and whatnot.
Right, yeah, like it's like a chess set or something.
I'll throw my Cristiano Ronaldo at you.
Yeah, you activated my defense card, and it's... I don't know any defender's names.
Defender's name.
Help me.
Shit.
Oxlade Chamberlain.
That guy. I think, is he it?
I've heard that name a few times.
He's an older Arsenal player, so I know him.
I don't know if he's in it. You activated my goalkeeper.
There you go. You activated my goalkeeper. How stupid do you feel?
Yeah.
We sound so cool, right?
Believe in the heart of the balls.
Oh god,
that is as gay as those guys sound to me. It's so bad hearing people talk about football to me. I'm just like, just suck each other off, man. Like, what are you doing?
Just get it all over with.
Yeah, like, to me, when people talk about football, they're basically saying, yeah, I just love to spend... How long's a football match? 90 minutes? An hour and a half just watching 22 sway guys just going balls to the walls.
Get them together, lads.
Like, really get in there. It's like, bloody hell. Anyway.
Yeah, so...
FIFA gamers. Emphasis on the game.
Transitioning from one terrible company to another.
Perfect.
Ubisoft have done it again. So Ubisoft, do you remember when we watched the last Ubisoft Forward and there was that Splinter Cell tease where it was like, oh, Splinter Cell! And it turned out it was a mobile game.
Even I cared about a new Splinter Cell game. Mm-hmm. And if you're new, if you don't know, I am Mr. Stealth is optional for this mission. Mm-hmm. That is my go-to setting.
But even for Splinter Cell,
yeah, I mean, you hear that and the three eyes, like saying about that sound effect, and then it was, what was it, a mobile game or something?
It was some stupid mobile game about basically all their like big famous like characters that they have in their franchise and stuff like that. Well, that game apparently it got released and involves some cutscenes of you and law enforcement taking down protesters fighting for civil rights.
Pardon me? Pardon me?
Yes, in the middle of a civil unrest.
This is bad timing. Even, dude, I don't care where you stand on. I don't care where you stand on the politics of what's going on. But
that's this is the worst time to release such a thing.
Maybe that's when you delay. Jesus.
It's like, you know what? We'll delay Halo Infinite because it doesn't look good. But don't worry about it. We'll show video of people being beaten for protesting. Don't worry about it.
Do you know what's funny is I made an edit of one of those protesters. They made up some like Molotov cocktail thing, and this guy caught his feet on fire.
Yeah, his shoes on fire on it. Yeah,
and there's an anime where the main character, his feet, he can control fire with his feet, and so I added in the intro to that.
The sound for it.
Yeah, on the thing. By the way, every time I've watched it, my brother watched it, and I was over his shoulder, and it cracked me up. I still find it hilarious, right? But even though I'm on the side of this, which is making funny edits of someone literally catching fire, that's not appropriate.
That is not appropriate.
Messed up.
How are Ubisoft have been in the news recently for being really out of touch and having a lot of like terrible and proprietary in their business and whatnot.
Earlier? What? So the Ubisoft Forward, which is coming today, it's the letter U, a B emoji, and an arrow emoji.
Yeah. By this time we would have already streamed it. So yeah.
And I subtweeted it, and I was like, marketing team guy, sir, people are really upset with the company for like our toxic work environment, encouraging like predatory behavior and stuff, let alone the games that we make. And then it was just like Alpha Suit. Spell the company name with emojis. Like this. And
this people say we're not in touch.
Ubisoft, guys, it's 6 figures, but we will come in. It's not low 6 figures either. If you want my actual name attached to this, it's mid 6 figures. We will come in and unfrick your company, and it will stay unfricked as long as you follow the rules. I want a contract. We'll do it. But we've got to get rid of all of these suits. You need to go top down. Even Yves, Yves is going to be on the show. I'm not saying we're getting rid of him.
First guy, no, I would say get rid of him. I'd be in there, but like, that guy needs to go. That's the first guy on the chopping block.
I feel like Yves is their Bill Clinton, which is like, no matter what's going on, doesn't matter where it's presidential or if Hillary's involved in politics, you always see Bill around because it reminds you, oh yeah, president. Like,
I see.
It's your like reminder that there's someone that knows what they're doing on that side, let's say, and they're present. They're there.
If you take him away, it's sort of like everyone's just like, what do we do now?
Yves, I feel like, anytime you do anything, even if you take head down, get rid of the Hydra,
yeah,
you still bring him out.
So do you reckon what you
still
do?
Bring him? You just do a guest speaker.
I was gonna say what you
so
do.
Then we can get Brett for the 5th year and going, we love you, Yves.
Sorry,
Brett.
Brett.
You're off.
That's aged terribly, that has. So what we do is we take away all his powers within the company, and we get a guy behind him to sort of like hold him on like a leash that's kind of hidden under his jacket.
With electroshocks if he says the wrong thing.
And if he tries to say anything like that and whatnot,
he's our Ronald McDonald.
He's just there for the face. That's all he's there for.
Yeah, he's like
we have a functioning CEO, everyone. There we
he's
go.
like our KFC colonel. We'll put him in pictures of a lot of stuff. He's just not allowed to speak. He's not allowed to go anywhere.
Just lock him in his office afterwards, throw away the key.
That might be the thing. We just do a fake Ubisoft, so he still thinks he's running it.
Yeah. Oh, that would be
like
so
a Truman
great.
Show. But...
And he's so old as well. He'll probably just think it's just like dementia will set in and be like,
Right, exactly. It'd be the Yves show.
Oh god, here we go. That's
I'm so sorry, Yves. I know you're watching.
I'm not sorry at all. You're a fucking shit guy. Anyway, so now that we've
that's a good point. Why am I apologising?
Yeah, don't apologise to that fucker.
Bring these guys.
Anyway,
by the way, 343. Even we can't fix Halo Infinite.
Let's fucking you're nailing these things. You haven't even seen my stuff, but somehow you've managed to nail it. The next topic is going to be 343 Industries. So they brought back, yes, it's in the sea of words.
I was going to say
Joseph Staten, which Colin Moriarty pointed out is very close to Joseph Stalin.
Wow, I was going to say Statham. Okay, Colin, like maybe we need to chill just a little.
He made a joke like that. Some people were like, oh, ew, ew.
I love how I'm telling someone to chill.
Anyway, has been brought back to 343 Industries to help with Halo Infinite. Apparently, he was the guy that did the narrative.
He's involved in the original trilogy.
Trilogy, exactly, so they're bringing him back. Now, some people say that's the reason for the delay, that they brought him in and he said, guys, you're really, really far off the mark with this one.
Yeah.
We need to take it back to, I don't know, whatever drawing board or whatever we're going to do and get it started. And that's why also they haven't given us a release date for the delay. Because if it was like 3 months down the line, they would have said, we're going to release it in January, see you later, everything's cool.
Yeah.
But they haven't given the release date. How do you feel about the original narrative creator coming back? Because you're a big Halo fan, especially of the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Does that instill any confidence in you right there?
What's his role?
Apparently he's head of creative narrative, whatever. Okay. So he's back in his original position.
I feel better. I
Feels good,
I feel better about that for sure. I didn't play Halo 5. So, I will say, I know a lot of people, I think James says, that's Lasers, Gamer-Vids.
Gamer-Vids, he's best well known as that.
He and Tyler and myself all agree Halo's 1, 2, 3 masterpieces. I didn't vibe super well with Odyssey. It's a good game. I didn't vibe with it. I played Halo 4 and felt underserved. I felt like it wasn't very good, that they'd missed the mark. Whereas those two, I think they would both say it's a good game. It's just not as good as the original trilogy.
Yeah.
And because I didn't like 4, I didn't play 5, and I think it's widely agreed 5's just an abortion. You know?
That's some strong wordage right there.
Generally speaking, 5 is a load that should have been swallowed, right? That's, I think... So,
oh god, that's good.
I think that's where the fans stand on it. So because I haven't played it, I don't know how far we've got.
This is extra worse because I'm now a new father. This is so worse. Continue, please.
So, like, for example, if someone gave you if someone gave us Game of Thrones in like season 5,
yes,
and said we're departing from the books after a certain point. You need to start the loose ends. I think we can work with that.
We could do it.
If they give you season 8 and they go, we fricked this up, we're going to do a season 9, you got unfricked. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how far they've got. I haven't played 5. So it's hard to say, I suspect 343 knew they were coming into a trilogy of games. It felt that way from 4, which I didn't particularly enjoy. So I would guess they left room for another game.
Yeah.
But I think it's gonna be Star Wars. You know, the Ray trilogy.
The sequel, yeah.
I actually personally enjoy all the movies individually. They don't make a very good trilogy, I feel. And that's because we went A, B, A.
Yeah.
Right? And especially where, God, who was it that picked it up at the end?
Ryan Johnson?
Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson was in the middle, sorry.
No.
J.J. Abrams.
Abrams, thank you, God. I think because Abrams had to take over from the middle point and bring it to the end, he was handcuffed in a lot of ways. I think this would have gone better. I know we're on Star Wars now, but if it had gone JJ and then Ryan Johnson for the last 2 movies, I think they would have been better.
Way better.
Yeah, if JJ
because at least his vision would have been continued and completed.
Exactly.
Even if I didn't like what Ryan Johnson did, it would have been a complete vision.
It would have made more sense.
Yeah.
I think if JJ had done the first 2 and then Ryan Johnson had come in for the 3rd, that would probably have made more sense. Or I guess... Yeah.
Actually, if he would... I think he would have...
No, he would have messed it up. What am I thinking?
No, it would have made more sense because it would have been the end and it would have finished. But he would have completely everything you've done, throw it to pieces.
I feel like if you get the middle and the last one, that's the best spot to be in.
Yes,
and the fact that he's coming in at the end, I don't know how much there is to frick with this. Also because just like with Star Wars, spoiler alert, bringing the big bad in as Palpatine in the last movie, that's if you knew it was coming, you would have at least at the latest set it up in the middle movie. And they didn't. And so it's are they going to bring back Gravemind? I have no idea what's in 5. I know you don't know, but...
I don't know anything. Same words here. It could be anything.
In my memory, that was all resolved in 3.
This is like when James and Lutler were talking. I watched one of the Kingdom Hearts. Sorry, Kingdom
No,
Hearts.
you can't. Don't compare this to Kingdom Hearts.
They were talking about Kingdom Hearts in the podcast, and they were talking about all this shit, and they were talking about something called the fucking dandelions and shit.
Yeah, but the dandelions got recovered in 343 Part 5 2A. You know, subsection B.
This could all be real. I have no idea. And I was just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I actually tweeted out, I was like, "What the fuck are these guys talking about?" And when you talk about that, I just don't know what the hell you're on about.
I think. Forget all of this stuff. You should play the stuff that Jason there made 1 to 3.
Yeah.
Absolute masterpieces. Once you're done, what are you playing in a minute? Are you
Too
done
many
streaming?
games. No, I've still got my AC2 to finish.
I say once you finish 2, go to Halos.
I think it might be worth it.
They're so good.
So let me pitch something to you here. This is what I'm thinking when I see this, is that presuming that his involvement is going to be a positive.
I think it will. The guy knows what he's... I can't remember. Was he the creative lead in Halos? Was it 2 and 3? He was big. I know he was heavily involved in the original trilogy. Those games are brilliant.
It must have been, because I mean that's what I've been hearing anyway. Let me just type in his name.
I know he was on the creative team, but I can't remember what he did for them. It's like 20 years ago or something.
Halo. Staten, not Staten. Staten. Okay, so his work. So yeah, he worked. I know what his story was. He used to work with Bungie back in the day.
Yeah.
And then when Bungie moved, he left as well. So he was definitely there in the beginning for the original trilogy and whatnot.
He knows what he's doing when it comes to the story of these things, right? At least the original trilogy, they're so clean. So clean. Again, I just don't know how much...
Well, go on a walk with me with this. So what I was thinking was, he comes in, he sees that the whole thing is fricked up. Even if visually we've said it looks bad, but maybe that's something that gets solved out with one of my theories later on.
It was an earlier build.
It was a build from January, guys. Don't worry about it.
January of 2011.
He comes in and he sees the story's not on track. It's not up to par of what he thinks a Halo should be. He comes in, he says, "All right, we're going to need a year to get this right."
It depends.
Let's
it depends
say,
how much they got. How much has to be just thrown out.
I have a feeling if they bring in a narrative guy, that's pretty early in development where you need to get the narrative sorted. I think it's got to be about a year's delay at least when it comes to this sort of thing. If they then delay it a year, then that pushes it out of that 1 year window that Microsoft made that ridiculous promise where they're not going to do any next-gen exclusives. So maybe then we get that gives the development team enough time to work on a better version of Halo for the next-gen consoles. Maybe this whole thing is great with Staten coming back.
Only problem with that is that while I like your theory about the Series S
Yes.
The Lockhart being the real play here, going for silver, basically.
Yeah.
There still needs to be a reason to buy it. And Halo was that reason to buy it, to get onto it. Otherwise, and I like the idea of going for silver, but are they going to start the race a year and a half down the road? Because that I don't buy. Because they're not competitive for a year. And if they're not even competing for a year and a half, if they start the race a year and a half into the 7-year race, going for silver, that's different, isn't it?
I think their console and their idea with this going for silver isn't solely dependent on... I think it only works with them going a year down the line, because in the beginning, people might not have the money to spend on a PlayStation 5 and also an Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
But a year down the line, 2 years down the line, people have recovered from that cost. That's when I think they can buy it, and that's why a Halo coming out would be good for them. If it had come out on day one, I think they would have, again, sold a ton of copies.
Yeah.
But I think it's weirdly smarter with a bit of lag at the end, because then it's like, oh, I've got this money now and I really like Halo, and apparently this is getting 10 out of 10s and everything like that. It's the best Halo game ever.
One thing, and this is something I think you always forget when it comes to these discussions.
Oh god.
They're going to have a warehouse full of 5 million consoles, right? Let's say like 2.5 million. They ship half, leave half to be for the next wave. Some suit is going to look at this and say, we're paying X, Y, Z, or we have this much warehouse space being taken up when it could be being used for these other products. And we haven't even shifted these first 2.5 million. Like, our year one revenues from these consoles is bad. I think, we should just sell them out, get rid of them, and axe the division, because the suits don't get that this is a 7-year play.
Yeah.
The suits don't get that this isn't the generation they're competing. If you're right, they're competing for the next generation.
Yeah, they're setting themselves up. They want to make enough money in this one to justify the next and then go on.
This is Usain Bolt at that first Olympics, right? He is head and tails ahead of everybody, and that's PlayStation, right? And they know that they're going for another lap and they can't close it, but maybe on the third lap,
they get closer.
Which is the next generation. So this generation, I think they're just trying to eat up that gap and let PlayStation, Usain Bolt, tire out a bit, hopefully, and then still go for silver, but it's a close silver.
Yeah.
I think that's their play. And if they... Suits, man. And this Xbox suffers from suitism really, really badly.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they will hold to the vision for 12 to 18 months while they wait for Halo to be ready, which will come up somewhere in there, and then Fable's on the horizon,
Especially because after Don Matrick left and shit the bed and ruined Xbox and whatnot.
I was going to say, is this a good or a bad thing? Because I'm not...
Phil Spencer came in and they've given him a lot of time to win over the gamers and whatnot. Eventually it has to net with numbers. It has to give something. Now they've made great numbers with Game Pass, and that's... I don't know what Xbox actually see behind the scenes over how much money they spend on getting those games there, because they don't let us know about that sort of stuff. But if the numbers don't add up and next gen launches and in the first year it's still not showing fruit, how can you argue? Give me one more year. Give me one more year, guys. Yeah. One more year. It's going to be tough. I hope they do it. I hope they make it.
Based on what we're seeing for like the marketing and stuff, I think the Game Pass is doing great.
Yeah.
And it's doing great for them proportionately. For what it costs them to what they get back, I think they do really well.
That's the thing. I don't know how much they spend on it. That's the thing. The games that are on there aren't the sickest games in the world, and they don't come out soon enough for you to say, okay, they're clearly forking out millions and millions
I've
of dollars.
I've seen more marketing for Game Pass than I have for the Xbox consoles.
It's true.
And generally speaking, when you see ads for a lot of things, when something's constantly pushing ads, it's because that is making them a good amount of money.
Yeah.
Right? So I think Game Pass is doing really well.
I think so.
And I think without Halo on the horizon, like, I keep saying that phrase, I must be thinking about Aloy. Without Halo close by.
Yeah.
Right, like if they say, look, Halo's coming out February 21. Okay, so maybe people get it day of release. So like, I know I want to play, all of my, huge library of games, blah, 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 with all the ray tracing, blah, 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 and Halo's a few months away, great. But if it's not until like this time next year,
Yeah.
then I think you see a real dip in sales, even though it's low priced. At the end of the day, there's got to be something to play on it, right? And the number of people that we know for a fact are switching from Xbox to PlayStation, just based on this, the generation that we're in, like, and that's the thing as well. Like, look, those guys that have been Xbox bots for so long, even if there was nothing on the PlayStation, God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn, The Last of Us Parts 1 and Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, right? Like, there's just so much that of a real backlog of exclusives that they have not been able to play.
If they got it, they could play straight away.
Right. And so even if there was nothing, and we know there is stuff, we know Ratchet and Clank's a release title, right?
Spider-Man Miles Morales.
I didn't even think, forget Miles Morales, what about just the Spider-Man games?
Yes.
Right? We had that whole long list of games where we fought for first place. Like, you know, there really is a lot to play on PlayStation. You can't say the same thing for Xbox. I know they say we've got this huge library, but I'm sorry, you can play most of those games anywhere else.
It's so strange that they put a claim. I think it's because they have the handle on backwards compatibility and PlayStation don't. But they put a claim on backwards compatible games, like games that are just available on there. So like, I'm gonna pluck a random ass game out of here. I can't think of any game now. It's the worst thing in the world.
Put yourself on the spot.
Skyrim, let's say.
Okay.
It's like Skyrim, the Xbox 360 version is backwards compatible with Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
That is our game. It's like, it's not your game, is it? You're just allowing it to be played again. And that, to be fair,
Fallout 76.
and it's not something that you've gone out and you ask people, are these games that people want to play?
Yeah,
it's just we have the game.
Yeah. And then said it's part of your library, the biggest library, blah blah blah. But
Exactly.
It's not, half of them aren't really exclusive. Most of them aren't really exclusive.
No.
And the exclusive games, like Gears was okay, but it was something to play between Halos.
Yeah.
You know?
I never got into Gears, even though it does. I like the big guy with a big fucking chainsaw gun and whatnot. It's
Yeah, they
great.
basically just made Halo, except there's no space. I'm not even joking. It's basically that, right? Just different characters. So,
all right. Do you mind if I move on to our next topic?
Yeah,
We've
let's
talked
do it.
a lot about
Console
consoles
stuff, yeah.
right here. Let's talk about something great. Let's talk about CD Projekt Red and what they're doing.
yes.
So CD Projekt Red recently, they had an investors call where they talked a little bit about Cyberpunk. They
Yeah.
talked a little bit about, we're talking about microtransactions in multiplayer, which we're going to talk after this one here. But specifically, what we're going to talk about now is that they announced that there is going to be a PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X version of The Witcher 3 with all kinds of enhancements and frame rates, and most crucially,
It's for the low price.
ray tracing, available as an ultimate bundle with all the extra expansions as well. But, crucially, you get it for free. For free if you've already purchased it for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
I disagree with this. It's too good.
It's too good!
That should be... They should at least cover the cost of what it's costing them to do that.
There should be a donation button with this. That's how good it is.
I mean, come on, man. Like, $9.99 is functionally free for that amount of game. Please put a price tag on this. And I mean it. This isn't like... You know, this isn't looking a gift horse in the mouth.
No.
Because they need to pay the bills.
Yeah.
And I know, look, I think we're probably all going to get Cyberpunk, right?
There's one person there. I'm seeing you. You motherfucker.
Don't
Get off.
shake your head.
Get off.
You know you're going to get it, or at least you're going to watch 50 hours of someone else stream it. It's the same basic thing.
You watch me stream it.
Just because Cyberpunk's going to do well doesn't mean they should work for free on The Witcher. And this is 6 years now since The Witcher, right? By the time this comes out,
Yeah.
like
2014.
there's no long tail on it. There were no microtransactions. Plus, they're doing all of the DLC. Which, by the way, the DLC, if you haven't played it, you're making a mistake. It is every bit as good as the main game. Every bit as good. I think it's a total of like 20 to 30 additional hours of game. It's either one of those could have released as a full game.
Yeah, standalone game on the side.
Heart of Stone's like I think 8 to 10. Well, it depends how much shiny stuff you find, but it's about 8 hours, right?
Ooh, penny.
But Blood and Wine is 20 solid hours. That could have been an entire game.
Yeah,
and I think it's gorgeous. I love Tucson.
Yeah.
For free, you should charge for that.
This is
You
what
should
we said
charge.
earlier, where like CD Projekt Red are so good to a fault.
Yeah, it's a problem. I think it's a problem that you should charge. It doesn't even have to be much, but you should at least cover the cost of what it put you to put the devs on this, right?
So
This isn't free. This isn't like a copy paste. Yes, I want to upgrade. Click. Okay, cool. The game's ready.
yes,
Right. This isn't free. A tenner, $9.99. No one would complain at $9.99. $9.99 for that much game. Let's say it's CX. What if you were to buy The Witcher?
I'm gonna have a
right
look
now?
for you right here. But the thing that really gets me with this is that they're like anybody who has purchased it ever, which is everybody.
All of us.
Everybody's purchased this game on PS4, Xbox One, or PC, wherever it is. It's everyone's getting it for free.
It's now it's a pretty smart move. So it's 12. It's £12. It's
Game of the
£12
Year
CX.
edition. You get 15 quid. You get everything with
Wait,
it.
$9.99, and no one would have any problems with that. And the other thing is like, it may be a back end thing. It might be that they're like, we'll do this, and it's to push Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Right, because maybe someone forgot when they opened The Witcher for the first time about that. I know, but I don't think anyone has.
Do you know what this is? And this is what I think it is anyway. This is my theory, and I prefer this to the Epic approach. Epic Games realize they have a huge, strong power in the gaming scene.
Yeah, they have a lot of attention for sure. Yeah.
And they're trying to strong arm Steam, and they're trying to strong arm Apple at the moment with their 30% cut.
Yeah.
But they're trying to do it forcefully and aggressively, and like they're really hitting them in their pockets to try and affect them that way.
They're doing it for Epic. Epic's doing it for Epic.
Exactly. They're doing it themselves first, and everyone else will benefit from it.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do. CD Projekt Red, they're doing it the way that I would like business to be done, but
We
most of the times
on t-shirts and stuff.
it's true. But that's so basically we're CD Projekt Red. Is that what you're saying?
I think basically
we
it's
lose
confirmed.
money.
It's confirmed.
What they're doing is they're giving an example. They're saying Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out. Of course you're going to get the PS5 version for free or the Xbox Series X version for free. Of course, you bought the game already. Of course you're going to get it for
See,
free.
that one I don't mind. That one because they had to make the version.
That's true, but
it's
there
just
are
a patch.
But there are other people that are selling it for £10, so they're trying to make that example
Yeah.
of them. And they're not trying to say anyone else should do anything.
I'm talking about CD Projekt Red. I'm okay with them saying we'll give you the up-res thing for free because you already bought the game. That's just a patch. That stuff the devs have been working on it. It's like it's priced in.
Mm-hmm. I think they're trying to make a statement. They're trying to say, yeah, you shouldn't have to pay for it. That's the way the industry should be. And then they're doing this and they're going, of course, we're going to give you the PS5 version for free. But this is a step too far.
It is a step too far.
This is a step too far where you guys are
At
literally
least
going...
pay for the DLC, man.
This is like you going up to someone's house, like, excuse me, can I borrow your phone for a second? My car's broken down. Oh yeah, sure, no problem. By the way, can I have £500 to get the car repaired as well, please?
It's,
We love you, CD Projekt Red, but you guys
watch CD Projekt Red
guys are
become the
doing
second $1 trillion company. You know,
easily
because people are just like they wouldn't let us pay, so we started a GoFundMe, to force them to take the money. You know.
Apparently, this update is only going to come in next year, 2021. So we've got a little bit of
the
time.
free update for ray tracing, one of the greatest games ever made.
Terrible,
One
right?
of the most awesome stories, one of the most great experiences of this current generation for free with ray tracing plus all the DLC for free.
It's only coming next year, yeah.
And it
unfortunately.
didn't cost them $500 million to make.
It's going to be next year, 2021. They haven't put a fine date on it, but they said 2021. So look forward to that. It'll be great to do another playthrough then when it comes out and whatnot.
The problem is as well, they've already said it's going to be for free.
Yes.
I was going to say I hope they change their mind and put the price up, but that will get people upset.
I bet you... So there's going to be a version that you can buy for PlayStation.
I might do it.
I might do it because they deserve the goddamn money, man.
Yeah, I might buy it.
I mean, I've already bought the fucking 2 Cyberpunk collector's editions, and I bought their fucking chair as well, so they get all the money. And I'm doing videos, and I bought fucking posters. Anyway, CD Projekt Red, you guys are too good for your own good. I don't understand you, but thank you very much.
That's the thing. The whole
You're too good for us.
the
Too good
update.
for us.
If it was like you get this for free,
Yeah,
that's why they could have at least done this. They should at least do this. This update's free.
yeah.
It did cost us. We did have to put devs on it. It costs money. We want to give it to you free. If you would like to purchase it, you can enter any number you like, and we're going to cap it at the full price of the game. You can't do more than what it would have cost you.
Because there will be some dickheads like, I
Someone-
love you so much.
Yeah,
it's
someone will be like,
£500.
We'll be like, look, you can only pay a maximum of like $49.99. you don't have to pay anything. We want to give it to you for free, but if you feel like you want to do it,
completely anonymous.
yeah, like then at least do that. At least give people the option of giving you the game, because I mean, I'll chuck a tenner at it.
They're good to afford, and the thing is, that's going to come out of somewhere. This development costs come out somewhere,
right?
Anyway,
the trouble that Cyberpunk's had, because they tried to get it to run on PS4s and stuff.
Yeah,
you know, like, guys, start charging some money. People pay for good stuff. Like, no one's got a problem paying a price tag for a good product.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
we run on MacBooks and stuff. You know.
exactly. Kind of related news to CD Projekt Red now, and this is the article that came out by Gamerant regarding Cyberpunk 2077's microtransactions in the multiplayer version that hasn't been announced, hasn't been detailed at all yet. So in that investor call, they did talk about the multiplayer version of Cyberpunk 2077, and because there's no name for it, because no one knows how to address it, no one's talking, they said the multiplayer for Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah. Not that there's a multiplayer portion of Cyberpunk 2077 at the moment. Yep. And they said, yes, there will be microtransactions in it, but we will do it in a way that will be our fans will be happy with.
Yeah.
They said
not pay to win.
They'll be like, we'll do it in a good way that people will be happy with. Yeah. And because CD Projekt Red are more willing to lose money than they are to gain money, I presume it's going to be great.
Yeah. Most likely, yeah.
But Gamerant, the idiots that they are, took that quote, and it was translated from Polish. They translated it badly, and now put out an article.
It was a mistranslation. There's no way their Polish translator didn't mention this.
They put out an article and they worded it as if Cyberpunk 2077 has microtransactions in it, and quoted them saying that there's going to be microtransactions in Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah. So much so that the official Twitter account had to come along and say, no, nothing has changed, and quote tweeted them as well. Nothing has changed. We still haven't got microtransactions in Cyberpunk 2077. There isn't even a multiplayer in Cyberpunk 2077. We have a multiplayer game coming soon. That's completely side project, completely on the side. Nothing at all related to this. All because of some stupid journalist that wants to get clicks and shit like that.
And that's why we don't trust them. They're dying. There's a reason that, like, was it Kotaku UK or something?
Yeah.
Just shut down.
Yes, right? Exactly.
Even mainstream media is really, I think, like CNN and stuff like that, their lowest ratings ever, when there's more attention than ever before, right? More people can get to their stuff, and they have lower and lower stuff because a lot of people don't trust them. It's garbage, and it's just trying to, get clicks and stuff. It's all clickbaited. And when you actually read the article, it's nothing like what it was kind of sold to you as. And games journos are the worst of the worst because they are just scammy online marketers who did an English degree and wanted to be real journalists or real writers, but then realized that was both hard work and they weren't talented enough. Yep. And so this is a way they can get paid to write, but it's nothing they care about. It's nothing they know about.
I like it. Didn't hold back at all. This is great. This is great stuff.
I mean, I think the other thing is, like, the few journalists that have a good reputation, it's guys like Jason Schreier, who, one, has most of my friends list blocked, and two, is running his own scam in this.
Yes.
His own thing of like, oh, well, if you don't give me the exclusive, then maybe I'll have to write about that. Or maybe I'll write about crunch and stuff like that. Shut up. Like, no one trusts you.
No one trusts me.
Also, no one fucking cares about games devs. No one cares. Right? Make me a good game. Make me a good game. The Last of Us, it had crunch. It was a great game. I don't care if they had to do 50-hour... Oh, 150-hour week.
This is the official statement of conversations.
Yeah, no one cares. And games journals, there's a reason that they're a dying breed and nobody cares and that they don't get laid.
Yeah, exactly.
So frick 'em. Yeah, I'm sorry. That really bugs me, especially CD Projekt Red. Why go after CD Projekt Red? Because they have all of the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to need to see the game, and it's going to need to say, you have to pay to start playing this game.
In order for me to actually be annoyed with them, yeah.
And even then, I'm going to be like,
okay,
they're putting a lot of work.
Good effort, yeah.
Right, I'm sorry, you. This is the wrong guy.
The thing that really gets me with
go
this is
EA, you talentless hacks.
Yes, do something worthwhile. The thing that gets me with this is that there are a subsection of the world, the internet. Oh, you did something great there. That's unfortunate.
All down the beard.
It would be unfortunate.
Soaking in. That's lovely.
It would be unfortunate if that was on camera and that made it into a GIF.
Yep.
Yeah, it'd be unfortunate right there. There we go.
Really make it gify.
The worst part about this, in my opinion, is that there is a subsection of the world and the internet who listen to these journalists, and as soon as they see the headline, Cyberpunk 2077 has microtransactions, after they heard that they said they won't have any microtransactions, they're like, Cyberpunk are liars. The CD Projekt Red are liars. They lied to us. Oh my god, we finally got them. As if all up until now, all from the days of like,
to get you for an extra $9.99.
They were like, okay, we're gonna make The Witcher 1. We gradually build up to The Witcher 2. Then we have enough money to make this amazing Witcher 3, and then give all this free stuff like the free PS5 version, no microtransactions, all these the side content that you buy a really low price, but you get so much value. You get this free, you get that free. We do this. We pay our developers great. We do pay this. Put on an amazing service. Just so they can go in the long run, 10 years down the line, they can go, gotcha, we're EA all along. Ha ha ha, gotcha guys, gotcha. Big face reveal right
It was Mr. EA all along.
And these guys
would
were
have got
like,
away with it too if it wasn't for you damn meddling journalists.
As if that was what people believed. Why did people just suddenly believe this all of a sudden?
The thing is, those people are like the flat earthers of the gaming community. Right? They're the guys talking about the ice wall, that Australia doesn't exist. they get like the high-powered laser.
Australia doesn't exist though.
Well, obviously. That one goes without saying. Watch Behind the Curve. Is that
Yes, it's like this, yeah.
Watch Behind the Curve. I think it's on Netflix. If not, so it'll be on YouTube or something. You'll be able to find it. It's a documentary about these flat earthers. And it ends... It's so juicy. It's so juicy. Spoiler alert. World... It's up for grabs. No one knows.
No one knows.
Is it flat? We don't know.
And they made compelling arguments on both sides.
One of my favourite ones. My favourite ones. Boys, we're off of gaming now.
We're off here.
Is there's, for anybody listening, I'm holding up my hand trying to do the pictures so you have to imagine it.
Yeah.
It's like the solar system, right?
Yes.
It's like everything else is a sphere, and then it's like the square of the Earth. And it's like, isn't nature incredible?
Nature's incredible. The Sun, Mars, Venus, Saturn, all spheres. When it comes to Earth, flat.
It's just... So, boys, Behind the Curve is absolutely incredible because you get to see that. I mean, everybody they interview says, like, I've lost friends, I've lost jobs, and family members over this. If you, like, my big deal. Okay, let's say you've seen, and this is the thing, I kind of dig some conspiracy theories, right? But there's also a level of critical thinking that has to go into it. So my favourite one that I believe is real, is that the government releases, the government, right? Big air quotes, releases information of stuff that's real, along with loads of fake information, so that when you do finally see it, it's like Paul in the movie, Paul looks like you would expect an alien to look. That's because the government releases his picture so that if it ever gets out, people no one's surprised. Exactly. Here's the thing. What's the play? Where is the benefit in pretending the world is a sphere when it's really flat? Because
everything.
Like, what could it possibly be? There's no benefit. Because it's not like... Because nothing's different. Let's say you're right. Because the whole world still works.
When the Earth is flat, then... ...
etc. and so forth. Right? Like, and then, their arguments, well, isn't it obvious? Like, if you can't even see, then you need to educate yourself. No, explain it to me. Just ELI 5.
Maybe I am dumb. Explain it to me.
Right, because it doesn't... It's so crazy. But my point is not to rag on the flat Earth retards, right? Because they're such an easy target. It's these people that will believe anything. Yeah. Mainly it's to be contrarian. I think that's what a lot of these conspiracy theorists are. They like to be the guy that feels smart because they've seen something that you haven't seen, right?
A lot of it also is... It's the thing in America where, like, to go against the government is a very popular thing over there. I mean, I don't trust my government, but I also...
You should not trust any government, no.
But you have to also then do your own thinking.
Oh, yeah.
And these people skip over the thinking part and just believe whatever they read.
Yeah. They're just like, I don't like big organisations. Therefore, here's this big... Like,
this is like if the government say A, I must say B. I must say B.
There are a few corporations out there that are like... I guess Wayne Corp or something, where you got Tesla, you got CDPR. Yeah. These are places that are doing, like, for the record, I think electric cars are horrendous. I think they're really bad. I think that battery technology is so toxic. So toxic. Like, if one of those things catches fire, like, do you know the way that gets put out? When it's done burning.
There's no point in that.
Right. So, but those companies they're really trying. Like I like that Tesla's bringing out those solar roof panels.
Yeah.
Where it's like the actual roofing is the solar panel.
Yeah.
Right.
It looks like a normal roof, but it's like solar panels. You can generate electricity.
These things, that's brilliant. CDPR, like what they did, forget everything else. What they did with just the base game of The Witcher to say, this is how you tell a story. This is how you tell it in this way. This is how you show these things. We'd never played The Witcher before. The amount of emotion that I felt when Geralt finally finds Ciri.
Spoiler.
Whoops. to do that from a dead stop is incredible, right? They raised the bar. They changed the game. And that's before we get to the DLC, right? That's before we get to how they treated us. Like when you open that disc, the case, and they're like, look, you made this possible. I wasn't even a customer yet.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I guess I was. I just bought the game, but like...
You was already, at that point as well, they already had your money.
Yeah.
They didn't have to do anything more, but they chose they were gonna.
Like, this is not the corporation to be like, aha, we knew it was the long con. They conned us out of a reasonably priced game that isn't the industry standard. It set the industry standard for the entire medium.
Thing.
Fuck them. They're Polish. I don't like the Poles. You know,
I don't like them.
I would actually respect that more. I genuinely, if someone was like, I'm just a racist and I don't like Polish people or a bigot.
At least then you have a reason for you. You may be an idiot, but you may have a reason.
Like, well, at least that makes sense, because this is literally going up to like Jesus and being like, all right, do that magic trick again, but roll your sleeves up. Yeah. No, I'm literally Jesus. Like, I'm literally the guy.
I don't need to.
Like, God comes down and is like, no, that's JC, that's the guy.
This is JC, guys.
Yeah, this is him. And you're like, prove it. Like, you're talking to the guy.
The guy right here.
Like, this isn't a guy doing, like, the thumb trick, Messiah! Like, it's not, this isn't that.
Messiah! Like that.
You know, this ain't that guy. That guy you can question. Shit. This is so stupid. Again, like, I would genuinely respect them more if they were just like, and in summary, we don't like the thieving Poles.
Yeah.
Right? And they're like, oh, you're a bigot.
That's
cool.
Fine. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, you're still a moron, but
Yeah.
but if it was just like, they're a great company, they make incredible games, storytelling's second to none, and you shouldn't give them your money.
But you just laid out several reasons.
Yeah, like, what could the article possibly say?
Anyway, Gamerant,
stupid.
you guys can go fucking suck a dick. And all of you guys that follow them, I don't understand how you believed any of that.
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red, wave the flag. Anything? Let's try there.
Yeah, you win. CD Projekt Red, like, just in general, wins by default for me. Like, I think our default position is not just benefit of the doubt, but like, I'll actually wait for CD Projekt Red to come out and say, oh, we accidentally conned you, or we conned you. Because they're so bad at this that they would release a statement saying, "Oh, this was wrong." This isn't the EA adverts in knowing that they won't be liked.
Yeah,
after, right. This is we actually, like, if CD Projekt Red had done that, one, it would have gone out to the guys, but second, there would have been a tweet saying, "Well, we wanted to make it as true to life as possible. Guys, if you don't like it, just here's a poll. Do you want them in?
Do you know
cool, they're out. They're
gone. Do you know
gone.
what they would have done as well?
Oh, we're going to eat the cost of the marketing deals that we've done. Yeah, no. Do you like it? No. Cool. It's gone.
Do you know what they would have done as well? They would have been like, oh, sorry, we didn't know that this would be such a big thing. We totally see our problem right here. This is totally our fault. Everyone head over to www.cdprojectred.com/UFC, whatever the thing is, to get your full refund. So, that's just what they would do. They'd be like, oh, God. Like, we'll lose all of our money just because.
Because, like, again, they understand customer service in the long tail, and the fact is, unless these guys pull a Fallout 76, and even then, because Bethesda and... Is it Bethesda or BioWare? Bethesda.
Which one? Which game?
Fallout 76.
Fallout is Bethesda,
Yeah, God, there's so many names. Those guys have been trending down.
Yeah.
Right? And they've been doing the normal corporate shill bullshit.
Yeah.
If CDPR comes out, let's say the multiplayer for what am I thinking of here? Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Is just absolute garbage. One, they're not a multiplayer development house. Two, I want to see how they change it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how much I'll be like, oh, it's garbage. Cool. Let me keep playing it and see what changes they make.
See what happens, you know?
Because I trust these guys.
They won't just leave it. They'll just make it better.
Yeah, also they've scaled so well. A lot of these companies that find like overnight success, they just get anyone in, they lose the vision, they just start churning.
Yeah.
Projekt Red have not done that. They went from there were a few hundred million, I think, with The Witcher 2 to $1 billion company with The Witcher 3. And Cyberpunk still took them this long to make.
Yeah.
Not because it's that difficult of a game to make. I mean, it's a real game. It's like The Witcher 3 took 4 or 5 years to make. It took a long time to make. It's because it needs to take that long to make it. And the reason it's been delayed is because they're trying to make it so everyone can play it.
Yeah.
They're trying to make it Game Boy Color.
Again, to a fault.
Yeah.
They're trying to work harder and harder, work themselves to the bone,
Yeah.
work even longer, just so they can make everybody
They're
happy.
going to need to really mess up. Like, really mess up to even dent that.
I don't even know what they could do. Even the woke people of the internet and whatnot tried to get them,
But
when
then
it was that.
half the people that came out to speak about the issue were the blue-haired. Like, they'll just hire anyone. Are you good at the job?
Yeah, they tried, they failed, and CD Projekt Red is still going. Did you do it again?
See, I did the bit where like I made it weird, and now it's coming out.
Oh god, you child.
Isla, come up and teach me how to do this, please.
Yeah, she'll teach you. Don't worry about it.
I need a bottle cap thing for it.
Let's talk about the last thing here. Now.
Yeah.
So, this is something that was spoken about by James and Tyler on the As Always podcast.
Okay.
For those of you guys that don't know, I'm sure a lot of our audience know them, but if you don't know, head over there to the Lasers channel, it'll be a link in the description.
Yeah.
The most recent podcast, they were talking about Assassin's Creed Valhalla and the clips that have come out of it recently and how it doesn't look that polished. And they proposed the question, should it be delayed? Now, we can talk a little bit about that, but I wanted to bring up something. When we first saw the first gameplay reveal trailer,
I'm still salty.
we
You
saw
could have just said the first look. Just let's call it the first look.
exactly. But would you agree that that trailer did look good?
Yeah.
The quality of it looked good, and I
Yeah.
quite like the look of everything. The lighting looked beautiful. I like the scenery.
Yeah.
It all looked great.
Yeah.
The clips that have come out look nothing like that.
I saw this one of, I don't know if it's Ivor or not, but the guy's just doing
Yeah.
a nut punch.
It's the hidden blade animation,
Yeah.
but it does it to let me down. He looks like he's punching his nuts and what like that.
Yeah.
It looks very weird
Yeah.
and it looks very unpolished. People are saying it looks very bad graphically.
Yeah.
We said at those times that those scenes in that beginning gameplay trailer were all pre-rendered. We were saying that they did some work there. They made it. They were in-game cutscenes that they pre-rendered. And when people said,
And
"Oh
therefore
no,
it's not gameplay."
it's actual gameplay," okay, you might get to see that scene when you're playing the game, so that's what classifies it as gameplay. But it's a pre-rendered cutscene in that gameplay.
It's not what we would consider. It's not what I would consider gameplay.
Exactly, and that's why we said
And we caught a lot of flack. One of us in particular caught a lot of flack.
maybe one of us, yes, a bit more than the
I
other.
also spotted the sexual predator early as well. Just saying.
Just
boys.
saying right there. 100% accuracy right
Yeah.
here when it comes to
I
sexual
totally,
predators.
yeah, that was the vibe I was getting. I wasn't just salty that they used the wrong words.
Exactly. And we saw that and we said, okay, that looks good. And we said, okay, but these are like pre-rendered cutscenes and whatnot.
That's
So
not-
they're not good. Historically in games, this is how it works. The pre-rendered cutscenes look way better than the actual gameplay.
Absolutely.
And now we've got actual gameplay to compare to that, and it's night and day.
Absolutely.
So again, we was right from the very beginning, and this game looks terrible.
Boys, I know you're all bored of hearing our correct opinions and predictions, but I'm sorry. You pay for our expertise
Exactly.
with your time, with your likes, your clicks, your fun on the Discord. Hat tip. We called it. We said that isn't gameplay, right? Gameplay is what the game will look like as you play it. And for the record, we showed other gameplay reveals that they had done, that Ubisoft had given out before.
Yep.
From was it AC3 in 2011?
I think it was, yeah.
Where they showed a gameplay reveal, and you saw, now, it was pre-rendered and stuff, and
Yeah.
it was a different camera angle. The camera wasn't locked. But that's what it would look like to play the game. This, we said, wasn't that, and everybody gave us stick for it. And frick you, you were wrong, we were right.
Mm-hmm. Enjoy your humble pie and your foot in your mouth right there.
Is my formal apology as always? Like,
those guys really suck over there. God damn it, this
so
shit.
bad.
Anyway,
they've been talking mad shit about one or both of us.
both all the time. It's like their favourite hobby. We live rent free in their heads
That's
because
it. I was about to say the same thing. Because everybody's like, oh, they talk mad shit about your head or whatever. I'm like, good. Perfect.
Everyone over there is like, actually, we're all team conversations, and when they talk, they're like, the conversations section of the podcast comes up.
Right. And every time someone's like, why aren't you getting like going over there and starting some shit? I'm like, because it's part of the long game. They think they're gonna buy us. Nope. Not gonna happen, boys.
We're gonna buy them.
That's right. And for pennies on the Australian dollar.
On the Monopoly money.
That's right.
Exactly right.
On the dollary do.
I heard that's a real thing.
It's true. I see. This is the thing. This is why you know that we're gonna buy them, not them us.
Yeah.
Because if I was Tyler, I would forever now just be calling it dollary doos.
Yeah.
And I would make it a thing. And suddenly, in a few years' time, you would hear people talking about just like, that'll be like $5 dues, mate.
$5 dues.
You know?
It's a real thing.
It's a real thing. I would make, at least in my own local circle, $1 dues.
Hey man.
I love that. My God, I'm not even joking. The gif of James telling I've drawn a blank.
Tyler?
Elva,
okay.
Draw just a flat blank because I was thinking
That girl that always hangs around him.
Ivar kept coming up. I'm like, it's not Ivar. It's not Ivar. His chick's name is not Ivar.
I'm calling Elva Ivar from now on.
Yeah, it's like
petition to change her name on Twitter.
The gif of him, and so you can find it as well on those gify things of him telling her to get out of the car. That get out gif is
quality.
One of my favorite gifs on the internet.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of gifs.
My favourite one is the one of me humping the bed, but don't worry about it.
Subpar, I'm not gonna lie. Just, I don't know. You two.
I'm paying people to remove that from the internet, so I can't see that.
Mate, you and James, especially because James is so reserved in comparison, the amount of dirt you've put out there of both of yourselves. And even on our Discord, most of it is all of our emotes and stuff. If you're not on the Discord, you should be. Our reaction, the exclamation, whatevers. That's the relatively tame stuff.
Yeah.
James,
we've said way worse.
Oh, way worse.
Said and done way worse.
Anyway, as always, you were wrong.
Yes.
Like usual.
Like usual.
We were right, as always. And our official apology, you can do it on the next... it's not Clubhouse, because... You had to end it after the greatest guest you ever had. That was us.
Exactly.
So
no, not Kill Connor Club. That was the one that we killed.
Frick, whichever.
We killed Kill Connor.
Yeah. That's right. You got too many podcasts, boys.
Yeah,
also, do you know what? I'm gonna say.
How many podcasts do you need? Jesus.
I want to address this because I keep forgetting to anytime Tyler brings it up because he always brings it up in the middle of a thing, and I want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
You're not the only guy to recommend us doing a podcast. It's not all on you.
He's like, I am taking full credit.
You did it because I said, and now you did 3 podcasts. Shut up! You're not Steve Irwin, all right? But I always forget to do it because he says something so interesting after that. He gets it in, and then says a point about, like, I don't know, a Darth Vader movie, and I want to hear that so bad, so I forget, and then by the time it comes to a point to add it in, I want to talk about Darth Vader or whatever. So frick you, upside down fucking Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, we just got the announcement. So thank you to our boy D in the Discord server. The Cyberpunk just announced on the 18th of September at 6 p.m. CEST, which I'm not sure what that is, anything, but we'll work it out and put it up on the screen or something.
I think that's midnight for us.
There's going to be the 3rd episode of the Night City Wire event, and he asked, "Are we going to stream it?" You bet your goddamn ass we will be, and we'll be doing it right here. So subscribe for that.
What did you think of the last Night City Wire? I know we said it at the time, but have your feelings changed?
This is quite stupid. I actually recorded a whole Night City Wire 2 episode 2 event impressions. Wrote it all out, gave a good impressions. I really liked it a lot. There was definitely some bits I could have done better. It was a bit short as well, but there were certain bits that I picked out that maybe certain people didn't spot. But because I had the baby and everything sort of messed up my schedule, by the time it was actually edited, it was like 3 weeks after the fact. And I was like, well, that's not getting uploaded. But I liked it. It was just short.
Yeah, it was short.
Yeah. not much content in it.
Cool. Well, make sure if you're going to do one of those, don't have another baby.
I'm going to try not to have another baby, but you never know. I might just pop out with one and just go, but guys,
Stop asking James for advice.
yes. Do you know what's funny? I might randomly, like 6 months down the line, be like, I'll make it 9 months so it's believable.
Yeah.
9 months down the line, just go, James, I'm having a problem with my relationship again. Is there anything you'd recommend for me? Just see the internet.
Don't. But if you guys do end up having another kid, like, you definitely need to. I'm not even joking. You definitely need to.
Anyway,
Yes.
let's go back to... Oh, God, here we go. So this is what ties into the question I was going to ask.
Okay.
I was going to ask, should they delay AC Valhalla if it's looking so terrible?
Well, it just looks like a normal AC game.
To be fair, honestly. So this guy right here, apparently Messi and Gaming at FCB, which is... what's the thing? Did you do it again?
Did.
Oh, there's only a drip left in it
I
as well.
don't even care. I want it in my mouth and in my beard.
I think this is Football Club Barcelona, Lionel Messi 10, which is his number. This
Okay.
guy's a really big Messi fan.
We should ask this guy about his feelings on reskin the game.
We should. He
Yeah,
probably
this is
loves it a lot.
FIFA player for sure.
He's saying to Cyberpunk, delay your game, man.
Cyberpunk?
Can't launch so close to the release of AC Valhalla and COD. Launch early 2021 with full next-gen console updates, which is something we agree on.
That
right
we
there.
agree on.
It's getting way too crowded in November. People will have to spend on next-gen consoles as well. Maybe you should direct yourself to AC Valhalla and say, get fucked.
This is a guy who has one good take and then directed it in the wrong place.
Yes.
Which is the good take, your game should be next gen only. Mm-hmm. The bad take is thinking that either of those games compete with Cyberpunk, and even knowing what Call of Duty is and having been a COD bod,
Yeah.
where all we played was COD, like it's not what anyone I know is interested in.
So I think they should delay this game, but
I agree.
They can't delay the game.
I also agree.
Business-wise, they just
I
can't
agree.
do it. There's a thing.
Today's the nicest day.
Today is the 69 days until Cyberpunk 2077.
Nice.
Nice, right there. Judy Alvarez, I'll be seeing you soon. Which, by the way, 69 days, not that long.
Nope.
Really not that long.
Not long at all.
I think they can't delay it because there
I
is a
agree.
certain amount of business that you get when you become
Yep.
a launch title. People
Yep.
just buy your game because
Yep.
it's on next gen.
Absolutely.
And Ubisoft are in such a shit position right now when
Yep.
it comes to all the shit that's going on in the background that they can't. The next game is going to be looked under on a very critical
Yeah.
eye. Whereas this game, a lot of people are going to be like, the game's out now. Just play if you want to play.
Yeah.
Whereas the next game, they'll consider what
Yeah.
they do. If they delay it, they won't make those sales. They'll shoot themselves in the foot, so they can't delay it. It's gonna look terrible. I feel sorry if I was a person who was running like an AC channel, for example. If my primary content was AC, this would be a shit situation to be in. Walshy, we're very sorry that you have to do this. Joe as well, founded Scarab. Sorry that you guys have to do this. But that's
Man,
really crap.
They don't see being ready
No.
in November. It's not based on. Now look, we don't know exactly what they're still working on. Mm-hmm. But if this comes out in November, based on like the pace that they've developed, because normally your early looks at gameplay, well, I mean, this has all been very condensed. Everything we've seen for Valhalla has been this year. Normally, it's like the year prior you get the CG stuff. It's all been compressed, so maybe they will go a long way in the next 2 months, but I doubt it. And based on the trend of the AC games, not looking super hopeful.
Nope.
I will say that, on Walshy and Joe's, like, to their...
Credit?
fuck them. Something that works to their benefit.
Yes.
The losers that watch their content,
Uh-huh.
right? Who are totally different to the losers that watch our content.
Yeah, different losers altogether.
Right.
Way cooler ones are.
Well, it's like you said with Destiny. Like, the people that play Destiny, that's all they really want to play.
Yes.
The guys that play AC, they're super hardcore about AC. And you even said, was it AC2 has introduced some really interesting things that you want to know more about.
Yes.
So I can see that there's something there that the AC guys just want AC.
Yeah.
And I think even early on, those guys they're going to trend to Valhalla first. Once that's done and they realise that it's also garbage,
Yeah.
then they'll come to Cyberpunk, not the other way around. So I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah. Even James was saying that he's going to play Cyberpunk himself. That's going to be his main game that he plays during the day, and he's probably going to focus all his time on it and stream AC Valhalla, and that's the way he plays it. So he's not playing it for enjoyment. He's playing it because he's known for AC. Everyone's going to be asking him about that. I mean, even in fucking any other stream he's in, they're like, "What's your top 10 hidden blades inside of an apple of Eden?" and things like that.
Is that even a real?
I know they're real words, but it's like me saying dandelions. I don't know what that is.
Cool.
I don't know what that is. People are gonna come to him for AC regardless, and they want to see it. So he's gonna be playing it to satisfy those people, and so because it's his job, he has to know about this game. But he's gonna be playing Cyberpunk, which is what every normal person should be doing.
If I was Woolshield Joe, or Wazers, I would bang it out for like a week or two, just like really go do the whole game, and get my top favorite spots of grass. 5 best trees to jump on in AC Valhalla videos, all planned out and already. Yeah. So then you can play an actual game.
Yes.
That's how I would do it. And I do think there's enough content. Somehow, like, Ethan's a beast. The amount of content he managed to get out of like 3 or 4 hours of gameplay is impressive. So if those guys take the same stance... What was weird, though, is that gameplay looked better than the animations that we saw recently. Do you know what I mean? So what?
Ethan's gameplay. Yeah, I agree. It did look better.
So I wonder if what we saw was a more basic, pulled down version just to test out animations.
Maybe.
Which would give us a bit more hope, because what Ethan played, I was watching and going, I could see this being a thing. I mean, competing with Cyberpunk, no chance. I couldn't care less. But in 2 or 3 years, when there's like a 4 or 5 month gap, and I need something to play, I'll pick it up for a $5 at CEX. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. But I do think if it trends more towards what we saw when, they had that gameplay, that hands-on, I think it'll be fine. I don't know about the story, though, and I think... Have they forgotten that parkour's a big deal in their games?
I mean, they showed it that one time. They're like, guys, parkour's in it.
Here, watch this guy jump on a mud hut.
A mud hut and then a tree, and then there was emptiness. Yeah. And it's... I'm telling you, I was interested in the beginning because we have a lot of AC fans, and I was like, I started playing AC2. I'm kind of interested. And then ever since then, it's just been a nudge off. It's like getting a hammer and chipping at like a stone wall. It's like chip, chip, chip. And I've been getting down and down to the point now where I'm not going to buy AC Valhalla.
Yeah, I don't see me getting it, at least in the... It's not coming first. I'm not going to get it.
Especially because I'm fucking Cyberpunk's I'm gonna jack myself in, literally, just like jack, and then jack off as well. But jack myself in, and then
Cyberpunk's there, and then what comes up? What's in that same sort
Miles
of
Morales?
Like, what? Genuinely, why would I play AC Valhalla? Because I'm also not involved in the story. I also don't think, from what I've seen, it just doesn't seem to fit. I hope they do. I hope it's a great game. I really do. Because at the end of the day, a rising tide lifts all ships, right? More good games is good for games and gaming and gamers.
But Darby McDevitt's making the narrative. He's narrative director. He's making the story, and he makes great.
I mean, that's the thing as well. And this is going to sound probably very stupid to a lot of AC fans, but when Valhalla comes out, the game I'd be most likely to play will be Black Flag. Yeah. Because apparently that one's really good.
I liked it a lot.
I genuinely haven't played. All of the Assassin's Creed I've played was on the same stream with you for the Australia burning down. Right, and now it's California burning down, but frick California.
I love it. No one cares. It's just like, California.
Did you hear that was, one of those fires, or one of the big ones, was started at a baby gender reveal? Because they used like a smoke bomb, and it was pyrotechnic.
Oh,
and
my
it caught
God.
the thing on, and by the time I saw the article, it was up to 7,000 acres were on fire.
Oh, my God.
Because... putting pink dye in a cake's icing isn't enough. You know?
That's so stupid. Yeah. You know, like, God looks down at you and is like, you guys deserve to die. Maybe deserve to die.
Maybe I'll do another flood.
Maybe. Fucking hell. At least you'll put the fire out, right?
He's like, I cannot wait for these goddamn icebergs to melt, wherever it is.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we did. Let's kick over to our boys over on the Discord server for a few more questions here.
Cool.
We've answered a lot when it came to the Xbox Series S. We also answered Gamer Chatter's question when he asked about Joseph Staten returning to Halo Infinite and whatnot. Thank you very much for writing in there. And he also thinks about a year delay would be good as well for it right now.
Again, it depends how much, like, from what they've got. If he knows that they have to go to these certain points, right? Can he go plus ultra and link them all together? Right? Because then they can use most of the same assets and it won't take too long. They just have to reshoot like story and stuff. It just depends. Can he do that? Can he bring it all together? I suspect if it's easy, it'll be a year, somewhere in there, 9 months to a year. If it's not easy, this game gets delayed to like 2022.
Yeah, I could see, because I mean, if it's a year, it brings it to November. That's close enough to push it to 2022 January, you know what I mean? That will be a headline as well. Like, Halo Infinite, originally supposed to come out on launch of the Xbox Series X. The Xbox Series X is pretty much dead and Halo's coming out.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean? Anyway, let's kick it over to our boy. We only have one question that we didn't cover. This is our boy, who killed Captain Alex from Movie Club. This is our boy Isak Manny right here.
Okay.
He says, are there any books, possibly TV shows / movies, I've said that backwards, you would be interested in having adapted into video games? If so, what type of game would you imagine those properties being?
Ooh.
I mean, I've famously said a Smallville game would be so fun. But that's because of my love for Superman and how much I jack off at Superman and stuff like that. A broken record here, just going over again. Superman. Where is my Superman game, you know?
I mean, look, I did say if you were going to do a Superman game, half of the game should be Clark Kent.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you know how in Ghost of Tsushima, when you're doing the bamboo cuts, you have to do all the things to get the strike to do it well.
Yeah.
I would do it where you have to make it so you don't overdo things.
Yeah.
So like you're on the football team and you have to do the challenges so you don't just splatter.
Slaughter
the guys, right? That would be interesting.
Do you know why this doesn't work? We've said this before, that when you make a movie, like, you know when you get movies that turn into superhero movies that turn into video games, they're always terrible.
Yeah.
The reason why is because movies are 1 hour, 2 hours long.
Yeah.
And they try to just tell that story. Whereas games are like 30 hours long.
That's why they're the better form of entertainment.
Exactly.
We think, yeah.
But when you take 2 hours and stretch it to 30 hours, it feels so slow and so empty and
all
shallow.
the stuff that happens off screen in a movie that is fine being off screen, you kind of have to experience to make the game make sense.
Exactly.
It just feels like
it just doesn't work.
you're dragging.
If they take an idea and turn it into a game, like they did, they took Spider-Man as an idea and they made a Spider-Man game. Yep. Fantastic, that works.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Even Spider-Man games of movies, not good.
Exactly, the previous ones have been all been terrible.
Yeah.
They're
good. They're
nostalgic.
Spider-Man. You can. The main thing is being able to web around New York or wherever.
Yes,
but the story not good.
I don't think there are any movies or TV shows that could work.
TV shows. I think Supernatural. Not to like bang on about, but I think that might fit into this.
Yeah,
because you could do. You got in a Witcher sense. You got like a long list of things you can come up with. You can like level up in a sense where like you learn, and this is how it starts in the show. They start off dealing with basic things like haunted, like a ghost, a haunted house, right? And then like, oh, is this a werewolf? Like, who knows, right? They start dealing with these things. You could.
Sounds like The Witcher.
It kind of is.
Go and investigate. What is it? Oh, it's a. I've forgotten.
A Wendigo or whatever. Like it's a wraith.
Yeah, wraith. Something like that. Yeah.
No joke. And I know I've said it before, but I think if you and your chick you just don't feel like watching Smallville, but you want something to watch, and you finish The Boys and that stuff. Honestly, it's really good. That might work pretty well. Weirdly though, I have you got any? I was going to say, you don't really read a lot of books, do you?
Not really.
A book series that I would love to be made into a show, not a movie, but a show. But they won't do it. I doubt they would do it because The Witcher's very similar in this sense. The Third Law. So Rob, friend of the show, turned me onto this trilogy of books called The First Law. I'm sorry.
Okay.
So it's called The First Law. It's a trilogy of books. Rob put me onto it. It's one of my favorite. It's become, I think, my favorite series of fiction books.
Give me the elevator pitch.
Elevator pitch. Berserk. So on paper, it sounds like a normal high fantasy thing, right?
Right.
Well, so this dude's a berserker.
Okay.
I.e., he's a Viking barbarian and can get too angry in battle and lose control.
Okay.
Basically, just right, doesn't feel pain, all that stuff. Ends up hooking up with a wizard. They go on the quest to get the big thing and defeat the big bad. That's the general gist.
Cool.
The point at which I knew I loved this book, and it takes a while to get in the first book. First things first, our berserker, our barbarian, for most of the first book, a coward. Like, as far as you're aware, this guy wants to avoid fights at all costs. And then when you see him in a fight, he wrecks dudes. So you're like, what's up? But he's kind of out of his element. He's doing very human things. And this is the best written berserker I've ever experienced. The dude basically has a split personality.
Okay.
Right? And this is another character, functionally, that's just a sociopath that likes to kill people. And it like has haunted this guy this whole time. But as the book progresses, you're not ever sure. Like, he recounts his history.
Right.
And you're never sure which one of him was in these situations.
Ah.
So he plays it as Logan Ninefingers, is this guy who carries this, like, basically a demon in him. Let's say that, right? That's the way he presents it. And throughout the book, he tells you, did this thing and I fought this guy. And you're never sure, was it Logan Ninefingers, or was it the Bloody Nine? That's his his nickname. It's the demon's name, let's say. And you don't know the whole way through. And he goes through most of this book, and he does a lot of these like great, heroic events as him. This dude is a cold-blooded killer, but also has this even more cold-blooded killing thing in him.
Yeah.
And he plays it like he's trying to change, turn over another leaf. And I just love that, like, the way every single character is written is that they're the good guy. So he is trying to sorry, I just turned into a book.
Yeah.
But, like, this character is trying to get away from, he's trying to live a peaceful life, right? Because he's spent his life in violence. But when you've killed that many people, you've made that many enemies. Everybody's after you.
Yeah.
And he acts like if he could just get away from all these people, it would be fine. But then he keeps making these decisions that end up in violence and acting like once the Bloody Nine had killed this guy, then he was forced into another fight. But he keeps making these decisions.
Right.
But in his version of things, he's forced down this road. It's fascinating to watch these characters.
Interesting.
But that is a show. That is a book that should absolutely be a show.
I could see it being a TV show.
They're the first one's fairly slow to read, but if any of you guys have Audible, which before this goes up, we should look for an Audible sponsor link.
Maybe.
Because apparently that's a juicy affiliate link. But genuinely, the best audiobook I've ever heard. The guy that reads it is so good, I remember his name, Stephen Pacey. Stephen Pacey reads this book so incredibly well. He's such a talented voice actor, at least for this, that, like, I think if you sign up for Audible, you get 1 or 3 free credits.
I think so.
I would suggest that people get this. I mean, I think it's that good. I think it's the best fiction series I've ever read. Mm-hmm. Way better than Lord of the Rings. And I don't say that just because I beef out Lord of the Rings. I really think it's better. It's so well written. This guy, Stephen Pacey, reads it so incredibly well. Oh, my God. Okay, all right. We're talking about this book. I'm sorry, boys. I know this is a true gamer, but you need to know. One of my favourite characters in this book is a guy named Glockter, right? And this is a dude who was a cavalry sergeant, saying he's captured by the enemy, tortured horrendously. So when we meet him in the book, he's all like, his muscles and all were cut up, so he's crippled, right? His teeth were wrecked and stuff. And so he talks like this, because the teeth don't all meet.
Right.
But whenever he's thinking, he thinks as Glockter. The seasoned warrior, the inquisitor, the guy with the inquisitive mind. He's sharp. He knows what he's doing. But then when he speaks out loud, his voice is ruined because his mouth is ruined.
Right.
And he's a fantastic character because he used to be this incredible dude in his heyday, but he's now this shriveled, crippled guy. But his mind's sharp as anything, sharp as a razor. And so he's trying to uncover the political intrigue that the super wizard has his fingers in all these pies.
Super wizard.
Yeah, the guy that Baez, I think is the character's name. He's this kind of a Gandalf character, right?
Okay.
But as a result, because he's so long lived, he knows lots of people, and he was involved when this system was set up, so he knows it back to front. But that guy should have, that was like 300 years ago. How does this go? So everybody thinks he's a fraud, but he knows these things that he shouldn't know, and he has access to these parts that he shouldn't have access to. Dude,
Some of the stuff is out of context and it makes no sense.
Yeah,
but some of the stuff does.
honestly, if you were to get it on Audible, read by Stephen Pacey, it's so good. I've listened to those a few times. They're bigger books. But
So both you and Rob endorse this book right here.
I definitely do.
So that's why you shouldn't listen to it.
So I'm sorry to take like 5 minutes out. This is it's the best version of fantasy, I think, because it's not too high fantasy. It's not like the elves and the halflings and stuff. It's like most of the world thinks magic's gone, right? Not just gone, but that it never existed.
Right.
Right? So this guy that claims to be a wizard, like, that was 500 years ago, buddy. People don't live 500 years. Wizards aren't real. It's a myth. It's one of our creation myths. Yeah, it's just good. It's so good. It's so good. So good.
There we go, guys. That's
So
that's
they should
the book club version
Yeah.
of movie.
Dude, we had a channel which was book club for a while, and a lot of us used it, but you plebs didn't like it. Anyway,
Wait, did we actually get it deleted? I didn't ever frequent it.
we did delete it because
man.
people felt that like having a shows, a movies, a gaming, and a books was a bit much.
Okay. All right.
But Chris, because he's the only guy on there with any good sense of taste,
Sure.
you just hit me up in DMs if you want to do book chat.
Speaking of good taste, today, in fact, Sean messaged me after, you remember in the Conversation podcast, we said how he's been watching Smallville and it's been taken off of Amazon Prime. He's found a way around it. Hasn't told me how he's watching it and whatnot. But he goes to me, dude, I'm like 3 episodes away from season 7. Oh my god, I can't thank you enough. I've been spending my entire time doing it, and I'm such a proud father moment. I was like, I can't believe we've had Diogo, Ashton, and whatnot. They've all watched it and they've loved it. But something about Sean, when he said that to me, I was like, he's my boy.
Honestly, and I think you should do it as well. At least watch the pilot for Supernatural. This isn't a Supernatural versus Smallville thing, right? because I'm a Welling fan. I'm a Clark Kent fan. Jensen Ackles is in it. I think he plays like football douchebag or something.
Football.
He's like the team captain or something.
He's
like
the coach of the football team.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but it's. I think you'll find it's different, but it's as good. I think you will both. I think you will vibe with it.
I think I would vibe with it. I just wish I had the time. Like, I haven't watched Smallville in a while, actually. Yeah. But anyway,
it's a great pilot episode as well. Sets everything up.
Get back to the True Game podcast.
Let's do gaming.
Only got one question left, and it's from our boy Lucas Batone here. He is our boy Luke. There we go. He goes, "Sup, Senor Eddie and Senor Sheps." I like that a lot, actually.
The way you said it sounds like senior. It's like senor.
Okay, I'll do it with the accent. I'll pay you a comment.
Yeah.
Sup, Senor Eddie and Senor Sheps.
Perfect.
I got them. I want people to come up with more names like this for us and a different one all the time.
I think I spelt. I made Fishy a custom rank.
Yeah.
I made him Senor Pantaloons, so you can add Senor Pantaloons. But I think I spelt it differently, or like a different. It's been there for a while, man. It's Sig though. That's the thing. I think it's Italian. SIG. Go.
Pantaloon. There you go. Signor Pantaloons.
So
there we go.
when I googled how to spell, Senor, that's what popped up.
Interesting.
So I don't know if that's like Italian or what, but
perhaps
that's how you do it.
Anyway, comment right here.
Comment, yeah.
How are you? Oh, dear fucking
good.
bastard! How dare you ask us?
Oh yeah, I forgot. How dare you?
How dare you ask us how we do?
Simp.
Fucking hell.
That's $5. Come on.
Give us your donations. That's what it is.
You need to be. Luke, you're a true gamer. Let's extort him for money. We're not answering your question until you're on. Actually, he wasn't on the list, was he?
He wasn't on the list. Not reading it. I'm going to read someone else's comment.
Yeah.
Because it's not Luke right here. Was curious to get your opinions on Mafia Definitive Edition. Personally, from how it looks, I reckon it's Game of the Year.
Okay.
Strong.
We don't want your money. If your money's anything like your opinions, it's going to be bad.
It's going to be bad.
It's the bad penny. That just keeps coming.
I think the Definitive Edition looks good.
Oh, definitely. It does look good. Game of the Year is strong.
Game of the Year, I think, are overreaching. But also, we've seen so many bad... It is. I think it's coming out very soon, actually, like within the next couple of weeks.
I mean...
But the thing is, we've seen the screenshots, and it looks fantastic, especially the remastered stuff.
Yeah, it does look good.
But they've released, was it the third... Mafia the Third?
They've done like back to front, something weird like that.
And apparently that game is broken as shit.
Yeah, I've heard that.
So...
Wasn't it Diogo that was saying it doesn't work?
It's broken as shit. So why do you have any faith that this is going to be any good? I have no idea.
I mean, the other strong thing Ghost of Tsushima,
Yeah.
The Last of Us,
Yeah.
Cyberpunk. You might be right, but I'm gonna say up front, I strongly doubt it.
Strongly doubt
and I'm
it.
not saying that it won't be good. I doubt that it can be any of those games. Like, forget Cyberpunk. Like, The Last of Us 2 was a real... I know, love it or hate it. I personally loved it.
And IGN already gave Best PlayStation Game of the Year to Cyberpunk 2077.
Strong point. I didn't know what they're talking about.
So there's no way that it could win at least for Best PlayStation Game.
No. No. There's a...
That's fucking terrible.
There is a GIF that I want... If you can edit in... When I said IGN know what they're talking about, there's a GIF that I want you to edit in. I'll find it for you and hopefully you can do it. Because that's exactly how I felt, but I managed to keep my character a little bit.
Which GIF is it for the audio people?
It's the... Okay, yeah, so for the audio guys listening, you would recognize this guy. He's a black dude, bald head, and he's like trying not to smile, but failing at like 50 times a second.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, he's doing exactly that. But his way of doing it, I can't remember who it is, but you'd recognize him.
Okay.
Come over to the video section at like 2.5 hours.
Yes, we've been going on for a bit right there.
This one got out of hand. Maybe if some idiot wasn't talking about books for like half an hour.
In it, goddamn.
I want you to edit that in because that's exactly how I felt saying IGN know what they're talking about. I hope it's good. I want all these games to be good. I want Valhalla to be good. I want Mafia to be good.
Yeah.
Game of the Year,
I admire your optimism, Luke. I like an optimistic
top
guy.
5. It might make it into the top 5.
But your optimism is like
Ratchet and Clank come out
Ben's.
this year?
It's launch window. I think that's going to be next year. I think it's going to be
Because if Ratchet and Clank comes out this year,
already beaten, right?
yeah.
I like your optimism. Your optimism is on the level of Ben, our boy Ponk's Modrox Returns one.
Yeah.
On the level of him thinking that he can get 5 wins in a row on Fall Guys so he can get the trophy.
In a row.
In a row.
How many has he managed?
1. He never...
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't it really hard to just win at all?
I think he might have actually got to 4, but then he failed on the last one.
No.
So bad. But you're like that level of optimism. And we all know that Ben sucks at video games. So there we go.
There is that.
We even actually introduced him to Spider-Man. That's how terrible this guy is. Right here.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I know this meme.
Ben! Uncle Ben!
You're a functioning adult human being. You know, like if you were on National Geographic, you'd be considered like an adult. You know, like if David Attenborough would do a documentary, and now we see, you know. And you don't know you knew they were memes, but not where they were from. What are you doing?
Your opinions are like Joe founded Scarab only getting the Xbox as a console. Oh my god.
He's not really still doing that.
Yes. He's only got an Xbox. He might get a PlayStation 5. I think that's what he's going to do.
I was going to say.
But he still hasn't played any PlayStation games. We was like God of War, Spider-Man, Last of Us. Anyway.
Horizon.
That was all of our comments right there. Thank you everybody for writing in. Thank you for making this show even longer.
It's all your
writing
fault.
Comments about that. Exactly, no one else right there. I hope you guys all really enjoyed it. Was there any other... What are you playing recently? You playing anything else?
Well, my internet's down.
Oh yes, your internet is down, so you're
Ghost of
limited.
Tsushima.
Right.
Yeah.
I played Vader Immortal the other day on the stream.
Yeah.
Very, very fun, especially because it's got a good story to it. And I was like, oh boy, there was some Padme in there, there was some Anakin.
And I was like, why did I have to be born on this day?
Yeah.
My birthday, why? Funnily enough, I had a real big regret moment.
Yeah.
Which was, I was playing, so I have this little Ghost of Tsushima channel. Doing a few test things. Eat, Sleep, Game, Repeat.
Eat, Sleep, Game, Repeat. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 1 million subs we just crossed.
Yeah.
No, we didn't. It's doing that thing. It's at 60 million, but it only shows 60. It's so strange.
So strange.
You'd think they just put the little M there to let you know. But,
come on, man.
And so I was doing that just for fun, as a little bit of a creative outlet and stuff, and to test a few things. And because of that, I put my game in English.
Yeah.
The voice actor for Jin in Japanese plays Zoro in One Piece, which is an anime I'm a big fan of.
Okay.
And that he also happens to be brilliant.
Okay.
And as soon I did it just for funsies because I'd finished the game, and so I set it to like Kurosawa mode and put it in Japanese, and I was like, wait, is that Zoro? And I had this huge, big regret. I'm like, why did I do this?
I
I played this whole
should've.
game. It could have been Zora. I could have been playing as Zora. I played as some stupid English-speaking idiot. Even though the voice actor's brilliant, but big regret.
Damn.
Yeah. So now I'm gonna have to do the whole thing again.
Yeah, that's terrible for you. I feel sorry for you, man.
No,
It's
no.
tough times, man. Tough
No.
times. You have to play the
Maybe-
whole of Ghost of Tsushima. God
Maybe
damn.
I'll
that's
actually
awful.
use the bow and arrow this time.
Maybe, yeah.
And one of those wind chimes, was it?
Mate,
I
no
never
one ever
used
used
those.
that bullshit.
Did you ever use the blow darts after you had to do it?
After I had to do it, I stopped using it. And there was one point where I was like... And I used all of my ammunition in one go. And I was like, that was really effective. Why don't I use that more? And then forgot about it.
Yeah. And the other thing is like you have the wind chimes or whatever, and you're like, oh, that distracts people. Do you know what else distracts people? Making one of those brutes attack everyone. That's
Right.
really distracting.
And also, was you ever in a point... Maybe I wasn't playing on the hardest difficulty, but
Mine
I
was on medium or hard.
Yeah,
something
mine was medium hard, something like that. But I never felt like I was overwhelming danger or anything like that.
The only time I ever was in that position, I rode past the camp and it said, you're in an overwhelming thing, and then I just got destroyed by arrows in 3 seconds with no hope of doing anything, and just didn't go back there again.
Yeah.
That was it. Otherwise, even if you go to one of those camps, if you get in a fight with most of them,
Yeah.
you can just run away.
Yeah.
Or just do a smoke bomb and hide. I was never in super danger, you know what I mean?
No.
So yeah.
Yeah. Vader Immortal was pretty good. I've pretty much got nothing to play until Cyberpunk comes out. I've actually been speaking with Ben and with Long-Eared Fox, George, and they actually want to play Destiny with me on PC. So we've joined together in a
PC?
clan. On PC. I'm gonna...
Is it Starts with Nuts?
I'm gonna... We did the Combro Nation. That's what we did. We made a
cool.
Combro Nation.
I like that.
But I'm gonna plug in a controller because I'm a civilized human. I don't play with
yeah.
keyboards. Fucking, that's what.
I mean,
typing
have
is.
you not ever really played with the WASD and the mouse?
I've tried, and I also with the games that I downloaded to test out the streamer rig to give it a stretch its legs.
Yeah.
It's so foreign. I don't understand how anyone does it. The mouse is perfect. It's fucking great. I love.
Let's play WoW.
But then
Let's play WoW and we'll teach you.
I'm got the fucking claw going on here. I'm like.
Do you really find it that bad?
Yeah, and then it's trying to sprint with the shift button, you have to press that way, and I'm looking down at where I go. I'm like,
I didn't. Oh yeah, maybe. I definitely
Anyway.
feel like for a game like The Witcher, I think a controller gets you more involved.
yeah.
Something like say Fallout or Skyrim, I think you're probably better because you can tap the number keys for what
Guess
you
there's
want.
more stuff, right?
Yeah.
If there's more stuff like that, where there's lots of things to do, having those hotkeys is great. Like
Yeah.
mapping buttons is great. But if it's a first-person shooter, this is controversial. First-person shooter is definitely better on a mouse. A mouse is perfect
It's
aim.
much
It's
more
great.
efficient.
But then the moving around is fucking gimped. Is fucking shackled at the leg when you're on a keyboard. So there's that. But I feel like the controller's the best of the situation. But there are games that are better on controller right there. And Destiny would be one of them. Destiny.
So you're actually gonna play on the peasant rig?
I am going to play on the peasant rig just because I want to play with the guys, and I think it'll be fun because I haven't had anyone to really play with. Also, George said he was going to play Bloodborne with me to get my final trophy, to get the platinum
Oh
trophy.
yeah, you need a second person, don't you?
So
He
I need
loves that
to
game.
I need to butter him up. I need to be like, all right, I'll give you the goods now if you give me the platinum trophy
It's
later.
funny because I feel like you said I need to butter him up, not butter him up. And I was like, excuse me, but I,
I
didn't
need to
touch it.
put it in his butt.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
So I think that's a great natural ending place.
That's the best ending to the
Yeah.
the True Gamer podcast
That's right.
right there. I almost said Conversations podcast because that's normally the shit we talk about. Thank you all for joining us for this episode. It's been a nice meaty episode, a bit
Yeah.
longer than it should have probably gone for, but there we go.
We may have got carried away. Big special thanks to all of our patrons on patreon.com/conversations at all of our tiers, but especially our Super Bros and our True Gamers,
Yes.
who the True Gamers literally made this possible.
That's right.
So-
One thing I would like to ask, this is at the end of the thing, so it's in a terrible place, that's how you know it's genuine. If you guys enjoyed this show, if you guys think it's worthy, please tell your friends about the podcast,
Yep.
tell your friends about the channel, share this on your wherever you
Yeah.
like. It would be a great help to us to get more people and help
Yeah,
the channel grow.
I
and
mean,
stuff
let
like that.
good people watch good content, and also us.
Yes, exactly. On the side of all that good content,
Yeah.
they need something to balance it out. You know.
Yeah, like once they're done watching somebody repair 17 chainsaws or fix a broken tractor,
Then
Come to
showed
us.
them our PC build stream. There we go.
Right.
There. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining us again. We'll catch you all in the next one.
We will.
Catch you in the next one, bro.
Thank you. And thanks, Raid, Shadows Legend.